Hey guys, tonight we're not setting sail into the roughest waters history has to offer. No greasy pirates, no splintery ships, and no sunburnt sailors arguing over treasure that almost definitely doesn't exist. Nope. Tonight, we're drifting somewhere far cozier, far snowier, and quietly more stressful than you might expect. The delicate, high-stakes operation of Santa Claus, and why he absolutely cannot afford to lose his reindeer on Christmas Eve. But before we wander into snowy rooftops, quiet stables, and a logistics problem that would make even modern delivery companies panic, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you actually enjoy these strange, sleepy little journeys. And leave a comment telling me where you're listening from and what time it is. Somehow, it's always 2 a.m. somewhere. And honestly, worrying about fictional supply chains feels very appropriate at 2 a.m. Now dim those lights. Turn on a fan for that soft white noise hum. Think gentle winter wind, not full Arctic blizzard. Get comfortable. Wrap yourself in warmth, and maybe tuck your feet in. Not because imaginary rats are coming tonight, but because December floors are cold, even in stories. Let's pause for a moment. Have you ever wondered what would actually happen if Santa lost a reindeer? Not in a dramatic movie trailer way, but in a quiet, practical, deeply concerning way. No reindeer means no lift. No lift means no flight. And no flight means Santa becomes a very kind, very confused man stuck in the snow with an extremely ambitious schedule. Tonight, with Sleepy Oogway as your guide, we're gently exploring the unseen mechanics behind Christmas Eve. The timing, the distances, the physics, the absolute reliance on a small team of magical animals who probably deserve better benefits and a very long vacation. We'll wander through snowy skies, consider the quiet pressure of holiday expectations, and reflect on how even the most joyful traditions depend on fragile systems holding together just long enough to work. And yes, there will be humor, because imagining Santa trying to improvise without reindeer is, frankly, very funny. But don't worry, we're not here to stress. We're here to drift, to smile softly, to let curiosity lull us into rest. So, settle in. Let your breathing slow. Let the day melt away like snow on a warm window. Tonight, we ask a very important question: why Santa can't afford to lose his reindeer, and what that tells us about preparation, teamwork, and the quiet magic of things going right. Now, let us begin. Chapter 1. The Sleigh Beneath the Crescent Moon. The rooftop is silent, wrapped in a thick blanket of snow that softens every edge and absorbs every sound. High above, a massive silver crescent moon hangs low in the sky, glowing gently against a deep indigo sea of stars. The night feels paused, as though the world itself has decided to hold its breath for just a little while longer. Parked carefully near the chimney rests a magical wooden sleigh. Its runners glint faintly in the moonlight, carved smooth by centuries of winter journeys. The wood is dark and polished, etched with tiny marks that tell stories of long nights, cold winds, and countless rooftops visited in silence. Packed tightly inside the sleigh are gifts of every size and shape, each one wrapped in paper that glows softly from within. Reds, greens, golds, and blues pulsing like embers beneath the snow-lit sky. The gifts hum with a quiet magic, not loud or sparkling, but steady and warm. They seem to know where they are going. They are patient. They wait. Snowflakes drift lazily through the air, spinning slowly as they fall, catching moonlight before settling gently onto the sleigh's edge. The rooftop creaks faintly beneath the weight of winter, but nothing stirs. No doors open, no lights turn on. The night belongs entirely to stillness. Somewhere nearby, the reindeer wait. They are not visible from this angle, but their presence is felt. A soft warmth just beyond the edge of sight, a quiet readiness. The sleigh depends on them completely. Without their steady hooves, their calm strength, their unspoken understanding of the sky, the journey would simply stop. This is why Santa cannot afford to lose even one of them. Not because of speed, not because of tradition, but because balance matters. The sleigh is carefully packed, its weight distributed just so. Each gift has its place, each strap is tied with intention. Everything works together: sleigh, reindeer, night, silence, like a delicate equation that only functions when nothing is missing. The moon watches over it all, ancient and unhurried. It has seen this moment countless times before. It knows that the magic of Christmas Eve is not found in rushing, but in preparation, not in noise, but in calm coordination. The indigo sky stretches endlessly above, stars scattered like pinpricks of promise. Some shine brighter than others, but all of them remain exactly where they are meant to be. Even the smallest star matters. Even the quietest reindeer matters. A gentle wind brushes across the rooftop, lifting a few snowflakes into the air. The sleigh does not move. It waits, not anxiously, but confidently, trusting that everything needed for the journey will arrive on time. And this is the secret few ever consider. Christmas magic is not chaotic. It is careful. It depends on routines kept for centuries, on creatures who know their role and show up anyway, on quiet cooperation beneath a sleeping world. Losing a reindeer would not simply slow the sleigh, it would break the harmony that keeps the night peaceful. The gifts glow a little brighter for a moment, as if responding to the moon above. Somewhere far below, a child turns in their sleep, unaware of how close wonder truly is. The sleigh remains still, grounded yet ready, holding the weight of expectation with remarkable calm. Soon, the reindeer will step forward. Harnesses will tighten. The sleigh will lift smoothly from the rooftop, leaving nothing behind but faint impressions in the snow that will vanish by morning. But for now, everything is exactly as it should be. The sleigh waits. The moon watches. The stars keep silent. And under the vast silver curve of the night sky, Christmas Eve rests, balanced, patient, and whole, knowing that when every piece is present, the journey will unfold just as it always has, quietly, gently, perfectly. Chapter 2: Cloud Grazing and Entangled Antlers. Hey guys, settle in, cozy up, and prepare for a journey that's more delightful than the first sip of hot cocoa on a winter's day. Tonight, we'll be visiting a world where reindeer are practically the Kardashians of the North Pole, and no one knows what they did to deserve such comfy clouds to lounge on. You might want to grab your favorite blanket, as we're about to unwrap a tale fluffier than a cloud's embrace. Picture this, a dreamy sky speckled with soft, pillowy clouds that seem to float by as if they were auditioning for a role in a relaxation film, temporarily transforming your chaotic world into a serene heaven above. Isn't it delightful? This is a realm where a young boy, wide-eyed and joyful, is hand-feeding a majestic reindeer. And not just any reindeer, oh no. This one has antlers so grand they could serve as a coat rack for a family of yetis. Before we gather our snacks for this celestial feast, a gentle reminder. If you enjoy what you're about to dive into, like a penguin into a pool, smash that like button. Go ahead and subscribe while you're at it. Trust me, I assure you no elves will come knocking, demanding payment in the form of oatmeal raisin cookies. Let's be honest, nobody really wants those unless they've been dipped in chocolate. Ready? Let's dim those lights and relax. Do you ever wonder if reindeer gossip about us like we do about them? Did you hear about Carl? He got into the cookies again. Again! What a rookie! Or maybe they ponder if humans find cuddling unbearable, like wearing a ticklish wool sweater on a summer day. Or, curious thought, what happens when one of Santa's sleigh bells flies off during a launch? Who's the poor reindeer stuck filing the Lost and Found report? Congrats! You've just woken up in 2024. The world around you is humming and buzzing as people scroll through their social media on shiny screens, while you, my dear friend, have landed smack dab in the enchantment of Cloud 9. Below you, the celestial canvas of the universe unfurls like a platter of cosmic nachos, just waiting to be devoured. And what's that? A massive reindeer, sprawled out like it's auditioning for the role of Flop of the Year, holding your attention as it rumbles through the clouds. As you observe the scene, you find a young boy, with curls bouncing like a happy puppy, gently offering a rich orange carrot to this glorious beast. The carrot, more vibrant than your dad's secret chili recipe, is received with a delicate flick of that royal-looking nose, and the reindeer's mouth opens wide to devour it, as if it were the finest gourmet meal at a five-star restaurant. Suddenly, you half expect the reindeer to start a chopped competition with the other floating inhabitants of this cloud realm, all judging lightly on presentation and creativity. Don't chew with your mouth open, the boy remarks jokingly. Honestly, who knew reindeer could be so rude? Emboldened by his banter, you might even picture him giving a little lecture on proper dining etiquette to Balthazar, the gluttonous reindeer known for his scandalous eating habits. Is it truly accepted if 100 pounds of carrot slurp extols the virtues of getting in those veggies? 0 calories in cloud life, right? The crackling sound of distant thunder ejects itself from further clouds, only to reveal a prancing, elegant reindeer clad in a shimmering harness of silver bells. Each jingle is less like Christmas and more like a disco party in the sky. The kids' laughter intermingles with the bell chimes, creating a tune so captivating it's enough to make even a grumpy old cloud crack a smile, if clouds even could. Taking a moment to adjust your position on this immaculate cloud, you find it's not only soft and inviting, a perfect heavenly mattress, but it also carries the enchanting aroma of gingerbread mingling with a hint of mint. This isn't just a snack you could whip up in the oven. This is the sweet confectionery essence of all holiday wishes. A rogue piece of cloud drifts up to your nose to entice you further, and if you were a baby reindeer, you'd probably chew on it too. As a whimsical sight unfolds, the once lofty and proud antlers of our majestic friend get entwined with a floating scarf that seems to belong to no other than Rudolph himself. You chuckle at the sight, a fumbled reindeer caught in the winds of fashion faux pas. One has to agree, cloud fashion is effortlessly chic, but can you imagine the reindeer runway shows? Next up, Prancer in avant-garde autumn tones, showcasing the slightly crumpled look paired with rustic carrots. But the real question you find yourself pausing to ponder: how does Santa manage to keep these historical icons of holiday delivery in check? Surely, with the zingy yodel of silver bells and the chaotic playfulness of a dozen quirky reindeer, the jingling symphony around you starts to sound more like a comedic performance than the prelude to holiday cheer. And while you cozily giggle as playful antics unfold, another important thought percolates in your brain. Without these wondrous creatures, who would sprinkle the sparkly magic over every child and adult striving for joy on Christmas Eve? Surely, the space-time continuum itself wouldn't allow any deer loss to happen. So, nestled in this cotton candy paradise and surrounded by delightfully radiant reindeer, I say, allow yourself to drift not just through the clouds, but into dreams of carrot-infused joy and raucous giggles, where bedtime stories shape our tomorrows, and laughter creates a world we love to dwell in. With snuggles galore and silvery dreams ahead, your night promises whimsical wanderings into the halo of the clouds. Chapter 3: Santa's Watchful Eye on Christmas Eve. Ah, the magic hour. Picture yourself in the cozy, nutmeg-scented workshop of Santa Claus, where the air is thick with anticipation and just a hint of peppermint. You can almost hear the jolly old fellow chuckling as he checks his glowing, magical gold watch, which, let's be honest, looks suspiciously like it was snatched from the set of The Expendables. This thing has more time zones on it than a world leader's calendar during a summit. As you nestle deeper into your not quite cozy enough blankets, feels like a goose-down comforter made from less than high-quality feathers, doesn't it? Let's explore what's going on in Santa's world in 2024. Spoiler alert, it's far more complicated than managing a reindeer food budget. You gaze around the workshop, where elves are bustling around like caffeine-fueled squirrels on a sugar rush. Each elf is either surrounded by the latest electronic gadgets or passionately arguing over which cockapoo breed has the cutest puppy face. You can practically hear their debates echoing across the workshop floors, buzzing with the same urgency as an overly ambitious Zoom meeting. But there's Santa, your beacon of calm amidst the chaos, squinting at that extravagant timepiece. Canada is just about to wake up, he muses, which could either mean impending Christmas joy or a tormented family trying to assemble an electronic drum set. Yes, the same electronic drum set that every parent secretly wishes they could throw out of the window. And this is what sends Santa into a slight spiral of existential dread. The clock is ticking. Toys are only half assembled, and, well, he has a horde of reindeer to keep in line. Now imagine the reindeer, each one more temperamental than the last. Every Christmas Eve, they're just teetering on the edge of either mischief or a mid-air rebellion. You ever tried to jaywalk with a group of toddlers? Exactly. Trying to keep one reindeer from bolting is a challenge. Now imagine attempting that with a whole pack, while also coordinating gift deliveries across multiple time zones. Just picture it. Rudolph, stop trying to eat the wrapping paper. Dasher, do not start that ridiculous antler flicking again. Santa sighs deeply, taking a moment to reflect. Have you ever realized that, despite all the technological advancements, from apps that track your pizza delivery to smart home systems that outsmart your dog, Santa's job remains surprisingly analog? No robot helpers here, folks. Just the magic of Christmas spirit and a persistent Wi-Fi connection that seems to falter at the most inopportune moments. What a way to keep a secret, huh? It's like watching your power go out while you're neck deep in a very tense Netflix cliffhanger. And speaking of revelations, how did Santa's watch get so fancy? Turns out he invested in tech stocks during the early 2000s. Who knew? Santa, a savvy manager and stock trader, not just the jolly deliverer of gifts. You didn't see this coming, did you? Picture this: Santa hustling in his office, researching cryptocurrency trends alongside packing up bags of toys. I truly believe in the power of platforms, he says, tapping his reindeer's nose as if to emphasize the importance of diversification. But back to the workload. Each tick of the watch sends a shiver of dread through him. What if I lose a reindeer this year? What if some child in Helsinki is left waiting, staring out of their snow-dusted window like a puppy waiting for a meal? If only children knew how desperately Santa needed them all to believe in the magic, as it's the only thing keeping him from spiraling into a life of multiple cat ownership and Netflix addiction. And oh, the gifts! Electronic toys designed to wow and inspire that, more often than not, mysteriously turn into dust collectors within a month. When they begin to lose interest, Santa's stomach churns at the intricate dance of e-commerce he has to perform. Do I even have a refund policy? He wonders, grumbling softly about the minimum wage of the elves as he scribbles down elusive business strategies on the back of an old Christmas letter. Ever try to return a glitter-covered item? No? Prepare for heartache, my friend. Then, just as you contemplate his fate, reindeer on the brink of rebellion, gifts piling up, and elusive returns, Santa uncorked a chuckle that rattled the pine-scented walls of the workshop. Well, at least the kids won't be getting socks this year. He then mutters about how that one year he made a Christmas miracle and somehow managed to gift 300 tiny pockets of joy to unsuspecting parents who had gotten very, very crafty with wrapping socks. Socks wrapped in paper that, unfortunately, started a strange and inexplicable trend of socket Christmas. As the glow of Santa's magical watch fades softly into the background, we leave him surrounded by his well-organized chaos, ushering toy after toy into the sleigh of holiday dreams. A digitally charged Santa Claus in a world of magic, mischief, and a sprinkle of modern dilemmas. So, buckle up, dear listener, because just when you think it can't get crazier, just wait until you discover how festive FaceTime calls with elves go awry right before the main event. Isn't it comforting to know that amidst all this Christmas chaos, someone's got it way tougher than you? Let that settle into your subconscious as you drift off, like Santa himself, keeping an eye on every single time zone around the world. Although, maybe don't start a crypto fund just yet. Leave that to the bearded legends managing very high stakes on Christmas Eve. Chapter 4. Midnight on a Snowy Street. Hey guys, welcome back to our cozy corner of absurdity. Tonight, we find ourselves on a delightful English street at midnight. Sure, colder than your last Tinder date, but also surprisingly charming in its own quirky way. Imagine a row of narrow brick terraced houses, every single one dusted with a glistening blanket of snow that looks like it's just been sprinkled with fairy dust, or a generous helping of powdered sugar if you're feeling snacky. Can you hear that? No? Exactly. That's the sound of utter silence, the kind only broken by the occasional clank of an unseen wind chime or the wheezy exclamation of a dog that somehow got its nose stuck in the holiday pudding. So, settle in, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan, because nothing says, "I'm ready to sleep," quite like the faint sound of the jungle, and get comfortable. Let me ask you, have you ever wondered how many snowflakes it takes to make the perfect snowman? Or perhaps which neighbor is still frantically untangling last year's Christmas lights while simultaneously cursing their favorite holiday song? Seriously, there's a high probability that someone's out there swearing at jingle bells while trying to avoid reindeer-themed decorations that have now become sentient. And what about those energetic cockapoos running around, thinking every snowflake is an edible companion? Life is full of these delightful absurdities, isn't it? Congratulations! You've just woken up in 2024 in a dapper English street where the snow has its own Instagram account. This place is twinkling with street lamps that emit warm, golden light, creating a scene so picturesque it could make a greeting card feel insecure. You pop your head out the window. Yes, you can do that. Magic. And what do you see? Beyond the rows of charming houses, tiny frozen gardens scatter like sprinkles on a cake, each patch of frost a testament to a garden's better days. You can practically smell the aroma of coal fires burning warmly within those snug houses, mixed with the alluring scent of freshly baked pastries still lingering by snoozing doorsteps. It's as if the entire street was painstakingly curated for a cozy Christmas Hallmark movie, minus the cheesy dialogue and life-changing plot twists. And the best part? There's an unusually suspicious snowman keeping watch over the street, perhaps plotting his next mischievous act. If you listen close, you might hear him whispering conspiracies to the snowdrifts about that one mischievous cockapoo who took his carrot nose. Let's talk about the dogs for a second. Those cockapoos are practically the Instagram influencers of our snowy village. They prance around like little furry royalty, defying the very laws of physics with their boundless energy. Ever wondered if they believe the snow is totally edible? One minute they're bounding joyfully through the drifts, and the next, they're trying to eat a snowflake. Yes, that's right, a snowflake. I mean, sure, it's a delightful visual, but let's face it, that's like trying to capture a cloud in a jar. Cue the chuckle and inevitable facepalm. Meanwhile, the houses, those old beauties of brick and mortar, are valiantly clutching on to their architectural dignity. Outside, the snow clings to the wrought iron railings, and each chimney puffing out little clouds of smoke is like the house is exhaling its very own soft sigh of contentment after a long day of being a house. Because, let's be honest, being a house in 2024 is no walk in the park. Just imagine the Wi-Fi signal dilemmas, the frantic updates on how to assemble IKEA furniture, and the eternal struggle of keeping the dust bunnies at bay. Laying dormant under the charm of snow, those houses have stories to tell, of neighbors borrowing sugar at 2 a.m., or competing over who can spy the most festive holiday lights without knocking over their annual mulled wine. And don't get me started on the bizarre rituals people engage in during this season. Ever watched someone try to assemble those inflatable yard decorations? It's kind of like witnessing a three-legged race between two toddlers, only far more dangerous and possibly resulting in one deflated Santa in a questionable position. Neighborhood gifting practices are equally perplexing. Don't even think about re-gifting that old fruitcake. We all know those things have achieved a level of immortality that most reindeer would envy. As midnight breathes softly across the snow-dusted landscape, the street feels alive in its stillness, a magical slumber zone where you can almost see the ghosts of Christmas past reminiscing about shinier days. The serenity is thick as the snow, yet underneath there's a current of excitement, because Christmas is on the way. And somewhere deep inside that quiet stillness, you can feel it too, can't you? That delightful flutter of joy. So, as crickets hum Christmas carols that only they can hear, and the flicker of street lamps guard the spirits of festive cheer, you can't help but close your eyes and imagine what is about to unfold. This sleepy little English street, under a blanket of snow, is the perfect stage for a comedic holiday adventure. And you, dear listener, are right in the middle of it. Rest easy and let the soft rhythms of glistening snow and charming chaos rock you into a gentle slumber, as more whimsical tales await just beyond your dreams. Chapter 5. Sliding Down the Chimney. Hey guys, welcome back to our cozy corner of chaotic Christmas cheer. Tonight, we embark on a journey more slippery than the time your neighbor mistook Vaseline for garnishing his Yule log. That's right, we're diving into the saga of Santa Claus, who somehow manages to navigate chimneys like a rogue squirrel on a caffeine high. In a world that's packed to the brim with tech-savvy inventions and digital gadgetry, one man in a red suit is preparing for the ultimate delivery night. And let me tell you, it doesn't come without its challenges. But let's face it, have you checked your own holiday shopping lists? Who knew finding the right gift for Aunt Bertha's cat would lead you to the brink of sanity? Or how about the epic treks through overcrowded stores, pretending to not spy your college roommate in the frozen vegetable aisle, while trying to remember if it's actually a no-bake pie that cat-derived coons prefer for Christmas? Spoiler, it's not. So, grab your softest blankets, dim those lights, maybe even turn on a fan, because who doesn't like feeling like they're elegantly losing consciousness in a breezy meadow? And let's cozy up. Remember, anything goes on Christmas Eve, except for that one relative who insists on bringing surprise eggnog that somehow tastes like regret and festive misfortune. Congratulations! You've just woken up in December 2024 with a gingerbread-scented ambition that resonates louder than your alarm at 6 a.m. No, I'm not saying you're about to break into a run. I mean you're cozily nestled inside a living room adorned with twinkling lights and plush throws that bring to mind clouds, or perhaps a more snuggly form of adult catnip. The smell of pine needles dances through the air like it's auditioning for a role in a Netflix holiday rom-com. And let's not forget the gentle hum of a digital assistant trying, on its best day, to keep you informed of your grocery deals while dodging questions about your life choices. But wait, just beyond that lovely wreath on your door lies a scene as chaotic as the aftermath of a dog fireworks display. Out there, surrounded by the moonlit glow, is Santa sliding down a dark brick chimney like a seasoned parkour expert with a penchant for gifts. His bottomless red sack, slung over his shoulder, emits a soft golden light so mesmerizing it could lead even the most disciplined cat astray. I mean, the glow is practically a beacon. Hey, you may be cozy over there, but I've got toys that are trending on TikTok. As he spills out of the chimney, his entrance is as graceful as a penguin trying to ice skate. Briefly comical, but ultimately a triumph of physics. He stands there, brushed in soot, the kind you can only achieve from a lifetime of spying through chimneys. You'd think he'd consider a professional cleaner by now, but no, that's completely against the Santa code. And speaking of codes, let's divert for just a moment. Because you know Santa's secrets go beyond merely creating toys. You have to wonder, what kind of quirky teamwork goes into planning a global gift drop on Christmas Eve? Do the reindeer have a special reindeer union? Is it a 401k plan for magical sleigh rides? Maybe they get a discount on oats and carrots. The possibilities are endless, much like that list of naughty and nice. And just like waiting for cookies to magically appear out of thin air. Back to our sleigh rider extraordinaire. There he is, adjusting his specs and surveying the room to ensure no curious child is eagerly peeking over the couch. You'd think he'd take a moment to appreciate the seasonal decor, but no, Santa's gifts are far more easily distracted. Instead, he shuffles towards the Christmas tree, practically tiptoeing like it's the final scene of an action movie where the protagonist must successfully avoid every creaky floorboard. But hold up, is that the sound of a cockapoo racing through the house? A miniature missile reconsidering its life choices? Oh yes, apparently Santa isn't the only one dashing through the snow tonight. Multiple pairs of curious furry eyes peer from the next room, probably contemplating whether the shiny ornaments or potentially edible gifts pose a greater risk. Spoiler alert, everything is suspect. Now picture this. As Santa attempts to unload his golden sack of wonders, he looks over to see a slew of gifts poised in dangerous proximity of the Oracle Doggos, who seem untroubled by the idea of Christmas evening chaos. Uh-oh, he mutters to himself, not the Heimlich maneuver again. Who knew that delivering joy would require such dexterity and an unparalleled performance at animal distraction tactics? Finally, after a series of mishaps worthy of a Hallmark movie gone sideways, Santa manages to leave behind his jolly haul. Action figures that now come with a 2-hour instruction manual, electronic gadgets programmed to freak out during the witching hour, and, surprisingly, an oversized fruitcake that nobody asked for but somehow keeps reappearing like an unwanted holiday guest. As he makes his way back up the chimney, a lump of soot clinging stubbornly to the tip of his boot, because apparently a clean exit is too cliché for Santa. He glances back at the peacefulness of the room, full of dreams and newfound hopes resting just beyond sleeping eyelids. And just like that, with a gentle shrug of his shoulders, Santa vanishes into the night, leaving nothing but a thin trail of magic sprinkled through the air like confetti at a surprise wedding. In that instant, he becomes a part of your dreams, the embodiment of laughter and festive spirit. As your eyelids grow heavy with each passing moment, picture the chaos of hilarity still unfurling beyond your cozy setting, reminding you that sometimes the most delightful heartbeats echo through absurdity. Drift off now into the tender embrace of night, and let Santa pepper your dreams with a touch of laughter and light. More enchanting mishaps await as your journey continues through this sleepy holiday tale. Chapter 6. A Living Room in Christmas Chaos. Hey guys, welcome back to our pint-sized Christmas extravaganza. Tonight's delightful escapade is shinier than your in-laws' newly polished heirloom silverware, and trust me, that's not as impressive as it sounds. We're diving into a shimmering modern living room in December 2024, complete with all the jingle bells and absurdity that the season has to offer. But before we dive deeper, let's address the elephant in the room. Well, not literally, although that would be a sight. Have you ever pondered how many decorations it takes to drown out the memory of last year's family debacles? Or how many times you've accidentally thanked your cousin Carl for a gift that was clearly regifted from Aunt Gladys? And let's not forget the struggle to find the right Netflix series to convincingly distract from your awkward relatives' rants about lawn care. You know it's real holiday chaos when you've set a timer to check your phone as a valid escape plan. So, snuggle up in your favorite blanket, dim those lights, and set the mood as cozy as a marshmallow in a warm cup of cocoa. Because it's time to travel into our Christmas tale, where the only thing more inflated than your holiday spirit is the price of those novelty reindeer antlers you regretted buying last December. Congratulations! You've just woken up in a bustling living room, decked out in red, gold, and green ornaments that seem to twinkle like they're auditioning for a Disney movie. Welcome to a space where your coffee table has been turned into a makeshift landing pad for all things glittery. The air is fragrant with the scent of evergreen and sugar cookies, unless, of course, Uncle Bob decided to bring his infamous fruitcake. That marvelous loaf of delight is more likely to turn your stomach than to satisfy it, making it more of a seasonal doorstop than a dessert. Imagine that. As you marvel at the towering Christmas tree, seriously, it looks taller than your favorite conspiracy theorist stack of self-help books, you can almost hear the soft, playful jingles of Christmas tunes wafting through the air, like a happy choir of house cats trying to sing in harmony. Now, let's set the scene. You spot a gray sofa gently luminescing beneath a sprinkle of fairy lights, surrounded by colorful throw pillows that scream, "I'm here for the cozy, but also for the I need my personal space." The orange armchair, though possibly borrowed from a 70s sitcom set, adds a splash of daring color that invites you to sink into its embrace, provided you can overlook its questionable affinity for pet hair. As you begin to take in this festive ambiance, your eyes drift towards the digital gadgetry scattered about like an overzealous robot invasion. Let's talk about that ever-evolving battlefield of children's toys. On the table lies a gadget that your 10-year-old claims is a smart robot, but honestly, it looks like a glorified can opener with a personality crisis. You catch glimpses of action figures and electronic gadgets, each more bewildering than the last. They're rendering the concept of gift wrapping entirely obsolete because, let's be honest, it's just a shiny surfaced puzzle for tired parents to figure out. Ah, but what's this? Just beyond the Christmas tree, you hear a soft thud, followed by an unmistakable squeak. It appears the cockapoo has decided that every gift under the tree is his personal plaything. You can practically hear the holiday spirit snap like a rubber band as you envision him single-handedly unraveling all the carefully executed wrapping jobs. Unbeknownst to him, he's just taken the chaos level to BYOG, bring your own gifts status. Now, back to the Christmas story. As you nestle deeper into your blanket, the living room feels alive, as bustling with dreams and festive energy as a dog park during a sunny day. Santa is gearing up outside, strapping with glee into his sleigh, a vehicle that looks suspiciously like a not-so-discreet minivan from last year's Christmas parade. Yes, the man in red is ready for the ultimate night. But here's a thought. Have you ever stopped to wonder about the economics of Santa's operation? Imagine if Santa ran his workshop like an average entrepreneur. Branding, social media marketing, you name it. Picture him on social media, posting glossy photos of reindeer training regimens and the latest hot toy trends. Perhaps even pitching sleigh shares as a part-time gig while scrolling through the Reindeer Union's latest newsletter. It's quite possible he's working on a side hustle to fund his gift deliveries, purposely donning that red suit to stand out in the influencer crowd. But wait, what if, unlike everyone else, Santa found himself struggling to afford his beloved reindeer this Christmas? As you chuckle at that absurd vision, let's return to the living room that continues to swirl with the chaotic charm of the season. You might find yourself pondering just how many decorations are too many as the lights flicker joyously, leaving a trail of sparkles in their wake. Perhaps you're even left thinking about what it truly means to share joy during the season, knowing that sometimes the best presents aren't wrapped in bows, but rather found in the laughter of family, or, in your case, the refreshing glass of spiked eggnog you've hidden behind the couch all night. The delightful absurdity swirling inside only adds to the magic of the season, where joyous laughter mingles with tradition and comfort. So, take a deep breath, allow yourself to puff a bit of laughter, and know that as long as Uncle Bob's fruitcake exists, the holidays will always carry an element of chaos, and perhaps a sprinkle of humor that will carry you right into dreamland. Chapter 7. The Unseen Visitor and His Delightfully Fluffy Challenger. Hey guys, welcome back to our whimsical Christmas voyage. Tonight, we're about to descend into a scene fluffier than your Aunt Marge's favorite holiday sweater. And trust me, that's saying something considering her idea of fashion is a peculiar combination of grape-colored spandex and glitter. So, tuck in and prepare for a cozy narrative that's sweeter than a plate stacked high with freshly baked cookies. Though, be wary, those are probably Aunt Marge's as well, which might explain why they glow in the dark. But before we chase after our mirthful escapade, I must ask, have you ever emergency searched for a gift that you completely forgot to buy? Or, how many times have you stared blankly at modern art and thought, is that a deflated beach ball or a profound commentary on societal decay? And let's not even start on the culinary masterpiece that was last year's fruitcake. Was it a fruitcake or merely a doorstop masquerading as a seasonal delicacy? One can only speculate. So, as you settle in and maybe sneak a surreptitious chunk of chocolate from your hidden stash, let your worries melt away like butter on warm toast. It's time to dim those lights, crank up a fan if you dare, and wrap yourself in blankets as snugly as a burrito at a sleepover. So, without further ado, congratulations! You've just woken up next to a glowing Christmas tree in 2024, a modern landscape filled with chaos, joy, and yes, a suspiciously fluffy cockapoo who seems to think he's the new Santa in town, complete with a rogue red hat belonging to Cousin Carl. Now, let's paint a picture here. It's warmth and magic all around. The air is thick with cinnamon, and if you were to breathe deeply enough, you might hope to get a whiff of nostalgia mixed in with a dash of burnt marshmallows from last week's failed holiday gathering. Your eyes drift slowly from the meticulously decorated tree, the ornaments gleaming like tiny trophies for holiday spirit, to a fluffy black cockapoo nestled peacefully on a plush rug, blissfully unaware of the impending chaos that Christmas Eve tends to unleash. This intrepid pup has chosen a spot beneath the tree as his throne, an unassuming king of this holiday realm, blissfully dreaming of a world where squeaky toys rain from the heavens. The soft sound of his snoring is like a gentle lullaby, harmonizing beautifully with the soft crackling of holiday lights illuminating the room like tiny stars. Just when you thought this scene couldn't possibly get any more charming, let's inject a little humor into it. Imagine, if you will, the cockapoo's dreams. Maybe he's running through a field of giant plush snowflakes, bounding through drifts like they're fluffy marshmallows. Where am I, you might wonder? A winter wonderland, or perhaps a hyper-caffeinated doggy version of the North Pole? Or, wait, what if this unsuspecting pup is in fact challenging Santa's team of reindeer for the title of most magical being in the universe? It's like the start of a comedy show, and the main act is just about to drop. But what's this? Just as you begin to bask in the cockapoo's delight, a sudden flicker catches your attention. With a gentle whoosh, an ethereal figure emerges from behind the glistening tree. Could it be? Why, it is Santa himself, though he seems a bit different than you remember, slightly out of breath, and perhaps carrying a bit more holiday fluff than usual. Perhaps he's been keeping up with the times and has replaced his traditional sleigh with state-of-the-art, self-driving reindeer technology, available for pre-order at a flashy online site. You can almost hear Santa muttering, "These reindeer better not turn up their noses at their new sleigh, or I'm going to need a backup plan." It's like watching a timeless epic unfold, where the stakes are the reindeer's social media status and a race against clock and dog. After all, if the cockapoo, not to mention a jolly Santa, can't deliver the goods on Christmas Eve, could it lead to a catastrophe of holiday proportions? What could that potentially look like? Canceled deliveries? Sad children? A sequel to the notorious fruitcake disaster? The possibilities are endless. Just as the reality of this humorous dilemma begins to swirl in your mind, you catch the cockapoo stirring slightly. For a moment, his tiny paws twitch, possibly already dreaming of dashing through the snow, wide-eyed with excitement. Or perhaps he's contemplating an elaborate plan to commandeer Santa's sleigh and take the reins, turning the tables on the conventional holiday narrative. You can't help but snicker at the thought, and suddenly, the chaos of the modern world seems to recede, leaving behind this charming little tableau. Could this be the peaceful scene that settles the holiday chaos? In the corners of the room, the faintest sound of giggling children floats through the air, the arrival of family echoing the harmonious chaos that only the Christmas season can unfold. And just like that, you find yourself falling deeper into the magic of the moment. A charm cradled in this cozy room, where everything, chaos, laughter, cockapoos, and Santa combined, makes the holidays still feel wondrous. So let the warmth of this cozy living room settle around you like a comforting embrace, reminding you that in the midst of all the eccentricities of family and friends, and a spectacularly fluffy cockapoo, there's humor to be found in us all. And as you drift deeper into relaxation, you might find yourself cocooned in a world where even the fluffiest dreams can turn into the most wondrous of adventures. Rest here now, finally allowing yourself a moment of stillness before the next round of hilarity unfolds. Chapter 8: The Glittering Envelope of Holiday Dread. Hey guys, welcome back to our enchanting adventure in the land of holiday chaos. Tonight, we dive into a scene that's more bewildering than a cat trying to comprehend a cucumber. Yes, you heard me right. Grab your invisible monocle and join me as we unravel the mystery of Santa, his baffling gifts, and the troubling fact that an envelope can bring more cheers and jeers than your Aunt Carol's karaoke rendition of Jingle Bells. Spoiler alert, the latter is a human rights violation. Now, pause for a moment. Have you ever found yourself wrestling with the question, what do I get the in-laws who already have more gardening gnomes than they know what to do with? Or perhaps you've experienced that surreal moment when you microwave leftovers and suddenly wonder why you didn't get the title of expert in frozen cuisine. Oh, and let's not forget the mind-numbing doom that comes when your favorite seasonal drink resembles a green slime experiment gone wrong rather than a refreshing holiday treat. As you settle in, dim the lights, perhaps crank on that electric blanket, especially if you live in a place where winter hasn't gotten the memo that it should be cozy and charming. Let's slide into the whimsical charm of 2024, where technology dances with tradition like a surprised penguin on a fresh patch of ice. Congratulations! You've just woken up in a holiday home filled with lights, scents of gingerbread, and a cockapoo named Sugar Plum, who believes he's the true king of the North Pole. Complete with a sparkly red bow secured around his neck that has somehow tangled itself into both a holiday statement and a heated emergency rescue scenario. Now, picture this. In one hand, you can almost feel the warmth radiating from your favorite holiday mug, filled, against all dietary promises, with liquid happiness, or, as society calls it, hot cocoa. In the other hand, Santa is holding a small white envelope adorned with an illustration of a dancing penguin thoroughly enjoying itself, possibly wishing it had a mic for an impromptu dance-off. As he moves, a cloud of sparkling golden glitter erupts around his nose, like a party that someone forgot to invite the cleanup crew to, leading to more chaos than a toddler with a new pack of markers. You can almost hear Santa sighing. Why do they even let me have glitter? It appears this festive invitation is a diluted message from his assistant, reeking of unfulfilled holiday prophecy. Within this very envelope lies the terrible knowledge that elves have gotten a bit too ambitious this season, introducing new, trendy toys that are 10 times more difficult to assemble than anything IKEA ever produced. Handmade in the North Pole? More like a disaster waiting to happen, he mutters, knowing full well that the assembly instructions will require a PhD in engineering and possibly a degree in elfish deception. As he unravels the "Content slowly," you can smell the faint whiff of peppermint and panic wafting through the air. Glancing at the list, he realizes that this wasn't just a simple inventory of toys. No, it's more like a seasonal version of stress bingo. From plush robots that automatically dance to ludicrous holiday tunes, to smart gadgets that claim to know your child's deepest desires, which are undoubtedly laced with several hundred requests for a new gaming console. It's safe to say this holiday season is shaping up to be more hyper than a toddler on a sugar rush. Why did I ever agree to this? He reflects, pinching the bridge of his nose as he fights to stifle a laugh mixed with growing anxiety. Why can't kids just appreciate the wonders in life, like socks with extra cushioning or a well-cooked meatloaf? But alas, the days of traditional Yuletide gifts are long gone. Kids now have summer and winter wish lists longer than the line at a Black Friday sale, where everyone knows you're either coming home overjoyed or nursing wounds from elbowing overzealous bargain hunters. Just then, a mischievous thought strikes Santa. That familiar idea that would inevitably lead him to his second middle layer of work stress. What if I lose the reindeer tonight? He muses, resting the sparkling envelope against his rosy cheek. I mean, how would I explain that one to Mrs. Claus? Perhaps, he thought, the reindeer felt a bit underappreciated, like a hipster in a mainstream coffee shop. Sorry, Blitzen. I didn't realize you wanted a European tour instead of delivering toys. But before he can delve too deeply into a spiraling daydream about commissioning custom flying reindeer tattoos, he hears a soft bark. Peeking over his shoulder, he spots Sugarplum, the cockapoo, leg firmly raised in salute, as though he's ready to volunteer for this venture into the unknown. Perhaps it's not just Santa's night to shine. It seems the dapper little fluffball sees this as a moment to shine as his own reindeer. If only he can resist the urge to chase after every sparkling particle of gold glitter currently floating through the air. Oh dear, Santa chuckles to himself. This Christmas is either going to be truly magical or an utter disaster. But at least there'll be plenty of laughs to go around. And with a jolly ho 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 that could warm even the coldest of winter hearts, he seals his fate by enforcing a plan that may or may not involve suspicious candy canes, a handful of determined cockapoos, and a hidden stash of holiday cheer that could light up the entire North Pole. So as the glimmer of the season wraps around you, let this merry mischief settle, stirring the magic in your heart while you rest, allowing your dreams to drift like glittering snowflakes onto a canvas of absurd holiday mishaps, all starring Sugarplum and his merry band of merry misfits. Yes, sleep will call, and before you know it, you'll be dreaming deep under stars infused with holiday cheer, imagining a world where even the most chaotic elements of life can unfold into a simple tale of warmth and whimsy. Chapter 9. The Glittering Sneeze of Jolly Distress. Hey guys, welcome back to our delightfully chaotic exploration of holiday mayhem. Tonight, we embark on a tale that's stickier than a honey-glazed ham at a family reunion gone wrong. Picture this. It's Christmas Eve in 2024, and while you're cozied up at home, high-tech gadgets blinking and chirping like excited birds, Santa is having a nose-related existential crisis in the dimly lit corner of every parent's most dreaded conversation. the living room. Now, take a moment to ponder. Have you ever attempted to juggle 5 different gift wrapping papers in one hand while pouring yourself a glass of eggnog with the other? Or endured that awkward silence while trying to explain why Aunt Geraldine's prized fruitcake is the only cake with a shelf life longer than the actual holiday? Oh, and let's not even start on the kids' Christmas wish list that reads like a grocery bill from the future after a week of epic online shopping sprees. As you settle in tonight, dim those lights a little. Grab your favorite stress-relieving snack, maybe a gingerbread cookie that you will swear is lower in calories than it is, because isn't that the holiday spirit? Can you smell the faint warmth of cinnamon wafting through the air? Congratulations! You've just woken up in a home that smells like a Christmas dream, with a very confused Santa prepping to make his legendary rounds. Though there's one looming crisis. He's got to sneeze. And you know what that means. Disaster. Sprinkled with glitter. Let me paint you a picture. As Santa grips that glitter-laden envelope, a colossal sneeze is bubbling up inside him like a fizzy soda bottle just waiting to explode. His face scrunches up in a way that makes it look like he's spotlighting a particularly stubborn fruitcake recipe. The golden glitter swirls around in the soft glow, catching the light like tiny stars eager to perform in a very low-budget holiday production. A soft achoo erupts from him, and oh boy, does it go all out. It's an explosion, complete with sparkly confetti, because apparently Santa's sneezes are less like a simple body reflex and more like an enthusiastic New Year's Eve party that got a little too excited. The sound echoes like a supermarket opening day on Black Friday, with the reindeer outside startled enough to reconsider their holiday career choices. "Why, oh why," he cries, clutching his nose as if it's plotting to betray him at the worst possible moment. Why did the elves think this was an appropriate use of glitter? You can picture Santa's furrowed brow, wondering if maybe he should switch his holiday cheer for something a bit more practical, like anti-glitter therapy. Seriously, who needs crafty glitter bombs when you're juggling last-minute inventory for the season? Now, as the sparkles rain down like misguided holiday wishes, you can almost hear them giggling,
whispering among themselves, "Ha! Witness the jolly giant's inevitable chaos."
As if that glitter wasn't already evocative enough of those frantic moments when you realize you forgot to pick up an ingredient right before dinner, a casserole that may or may not involve a secret recipe passed down through 3 generations of nervous cooks. But let's not forget how Santa's joy is often intertwined with bewilderment. Glancing down at the remnants of the envelope that caused all this chaos, he discovers a list. Not just any list. This one reads like a compilation of holiday nightmares. Dodecahedron Rubik's Cube? Check. Singing sock puppets? Check. An inflatable llama that soars? Double check. It's the kind of wish list that could send any normal person into a spiral, questioning humanity's collective sanity. Have these kids lost all sense of holiday spirit? He sighs, shaking his head. Whatever happened to thoughtful gifts, like a beautifully knitted sweater or, I don't know, a toaster that doesn't involve advanced robotics? He glances around, half expecting Sugarplum the cockapoo to leap to the occasion, probably barking for a turn at the makeshift reindeer gig. The situation is borderline absurd, and that's saying something for the big guy in the red suit. The poor guy. Standing there amidst a cloud of glittery leftovers, he tries to come up with a plan. What if I lose my reindeer tonight? He suddenly frets. How do I explain that to Mrs. Claus? Honey, I swear they wanted to start a reindeer rock band and felt underappreciated. You can picture him shaking his head, half amused, half terrified of the impending chaos. Reindeer rebellion? Leave it to Santa to contemplate a scenario that sounds like a Christmas special gone terribly wrong. And just as Santa's thoughts spiral, Sugarplum hops into the frame, looking as regal and misplaced as an ornament on a cactus. With a determined spark in his little eyes, you can see him ponder whether he could be Captain Reindeer. Alas, he lacks both wings and the right qualifications. But that doesn't deter him. With his first little bark, he seems to say, "Let's do this, Santa. Time to spread joy, glitter, and maybe a few confused stares across the universe." And so, there you lie, comfortably nestled under your warm blankets, imagining the journey ahead. Once again, Santa embraces the very concept of delightful chaos, reminding us all that even the most jocular of scenarios can spark a little magic, even if it's just a glitter explosion that'll take 3 months to clean up. Ye han, ye sapna hai. And yes, you can't make this stuff up. So slip into an evening adorned by whimsy, your dreams tinged with holiday mischief, and allow each spark of potential hilarity to carry you off to a slumber as comforting and chaotic as a glitter sneeze on Christmas Eve. Chapter 10. The Booty Call of Chaos. Hey guys, welcome back to another nocturnal romp through holiday hilarity, where even Santa sometimes stumbles into chaos thicker than Aunt Edna's famous fruitcake. Picture this. It's Christmas Eve 2024, and the world is filled with more twinkling lights and tinsel than a disco ball at a cat's birthday party. Meanwhile, in the bustling North Pole, Santa faces his next great test. No, it's not the sleigh, but rather a rather unfortunate electronic toy lying on the floor of the workshop. Now, let's take a moment to savor the absurdity. Have you ever experienced that gut-wrenching moment when you step on a Lego brick? You know the feeling. A blend of surprise, recognition, and existential dread, all packed into one tiny piece of plastic. But Santa? He's on a whole new level. Imagine him with his large, fluffy beard and billowy red suit, preparing to spread cheer across the globe, blissfully unaware of the technological landmines lurking beneath his boots. Oh, and before you get completely cozy, imagine the sweet but slightly exhausting joy of desperately scrabbling to find your phone charger as you realize you've only got 8% battery left. So, grab a comfy blanket, dim those lights, and settle in for this extremely relatable struggle, maybe with a steaming mug of cocoa. Just don't spill it on those freshly wrapped gifts. But amidst these relatable dilemmas, questions abound. What if, in a world dominated by high-tech gadgets, you kept receiving wish lists for gifts straight out of a sci-fi movie?
Have you ever wished that instead of socks, you could receive a gift card for a lifetime supply of hot chocolate? Or how about your own robotic army of cutlery doing the dishes? The nerve. What happened to good old-fashioned toys like dolls and wooden trains? It seems Santa's about to face the ultimate Christmas quiz. Just how many ridiculous toys can one sleigh possibly carry? And what was he thinking, stepping into a minefield of electronic mayhem? But congratulations, you've just woken up in 2024, where the scent of pine fills the air, mingling with the faint whiff of hope and possibly a lingering odor from last year's eggnog disaster. Santa stands amidst a whimsical workshop filled with elves armed with various gadgets, each more fabulous than a glitter bomb on a Monday morning. Now, let's switch gears here. Santa takes a heavy step, a thud that resonates across the workshop like a stampede of miniature elephants. Yup, that's right. He's just stepped squarely onto the most colorful electronic joyride this side of Amazon Prime. Suddenly, lights flash and merry synthesized music bursts into the air like an unexpected confetti explosion. The obnoxiously cheerful melody dances around the room, sounding like a chipmunk on caffeine performing in a holiday talent show. Ho, ho, what in the name of mistletoe? Santa exclaims, his hearty laugh trailing off into bewilderment as a flashing, disco-themed robo-snowman begins to spin wildly around. The workshop, typically filled with the soft sounds of helper elves diligently preparing the night's deliveries, transforms into an impromptu dance party, complete with a half-visible Santa embracing the ridiculousness even as his boots continue to tap to the beat. You would think Santa would find a way to skillfully sidestep this technological catastrophe, but alas, he charges right into it, like someone trying to catch a bar of soap in a slippery fish market. The electronic toy, an ungodly hybrid of a gumball machine and a marching band, the kind of gift only a hyperactive kid would love, springs to life. It sings in multiple languages, but somehow sounds like a cacophony of chipmunks performing a riveting rendition of Jingle Bells. Is this truly what kids want these days? He wonders aloud, glancing at a collection of elves who stand frozen like deer in headlights. Just imagine the confusion on their tiny faces. You think the answer is more melody when I can barely remember the names of my reindeer? The chaos continues as Sugar Plum, the cockapoo, darts through the studio, easily mistaking the euphoric gadgetry for some kind of wild holiday game. He darts back and forth, barking as if he's auditioning for the role of Rudolph, just with a bit less grace and a lot more enthusiasm. Meanwhile, Santa's thoughts spiral into amusing hypotheticals. What if I lose the reindeer? How do I explain it to Mrs. Claus? Darling, they wanted a holiday gig as DJs, and they melted down after that disco ball incident. The thought of reindeer with a penchant for modern music feels like the plot twist of a family sitcom, doesn't it? One moment you're making merry, the next you're assembling a reindeer band with questionable taste. Have they stepped into a parallel universe? Is this some kind of holiday episode of Black Mirror gone wrong? But amidst the sound of festive jangle, the scene grows even more whimsical. You can almost picture Santa rallying his elf posse, from the seasoned, present-wrapping guru to the jittery, fickle elf
who spent too much on LED light decor. This jam-packed crew now has to navigate their way through a tunnel of festive fiascos, reindeer aspirations, and the constant threat of runaway electronic toys. So lay back, dear listener, as Santa embraces the flap and flap of chaos swirling around him, rekindling the spirit of merriment that only a sprinkle of madness can curate. This Christmas Eve promises to cascade into colorful escapades that leave you dreaming of disco reindeer and toe-tapping robots, peppered with just the right dose of holiday cheer. It's all about the lovable chaos, after all.
Chapter 11. Santa's Holiday Hiccup. Oh, dear listeners, can you hear that? It's not the gentle jingle of sleigh bells, nor the sweet sound of a choir serenading the snowflakes into a twinkling descent. No, my friends, that's the sound of Santa embarking on a quest of utter clumsiness, like a penguin on roller skates facing a frosty hill. As we drift seamlessly into the next stage of this holiday escapade, picture this vivid scene. Our jolly old friend, cheeks rosy as freshly baked gingerbread, has just tripped over the very essence of chaos. With a hefty thud, Santa stumbles into a bookshelf lined with framed photos. Crash! Oh yes, my friends, as if drawn to disaster, like we are to last-minute online shopping, he knocks over a series of family portraits that might as well be auditioning for a lifetime role in slapstick comedy. One image depicts a gleeful Mrs. Claus in her favorite holiday sweater, caught mid-belly laugh, while another immortalizes the reindeer in a slightly less flattering moment. Let's just say Rudolph's face reflects the exact moment he realized he'd run out of the last batch of cookie dough. Flashbacks to a slightly less graceful holiday party are inevitable. "I just wanted to get gift wrapping supplies," Santa exclaims, his voice echoing in the echoes of the elvish workshop. Elves scurry like panicked mice in a room filled with enthusiastic cats, their tiny feet pitter-pattering as they try to avoid the falling debris of a paper avalanche. How unfortunate for Santa that tonight, with his sleigh loaded down with a myriad of gifts and dreams, the only thing he's succeeding at is creating a festive version of a domino rally. Oh, and there goes the Christmas tree. As if it's auditioning for a reality TV show called Let's Make a Mess, it tilts dramatically, swishing ornaments with zeal before crashing toward the floor in a rather unceremonious fashion, branches splaying out haphazardly, as if a group of eight-legged critters just threw a costume party gone wrong. The angel atop the tree, once standing proud and beautiful, now finds herself staring perplexedly at a pile of fallen tinsel with a "what did I even sign up for?" look. Let's pause for a moment and reflect on the absurdity, shall we? While you might stress over whether your Wi-Fi is stable enough to stream the latest thriller on Christmas Eve, Santa's navigating an entire spectacle of calamity. Is this what he pictured after a hearty "ho, ho, ho"? It's more like, "oh, no, no." But you can't help but chuckle at the sight. Imagine Santa, disheveled and rather skittish, attempting to re-establish order amidst the chaotic scenery. You'd think he'd have a magic wand, or at least a functioning GPS. But no, he's caught up in a riptide of holiday chaos.
It's like trying to find your phone when you've misplaced it in a pile of grocery bags, only to discover it in the fridge. The cacophony continues as the elves, driven by sheer hilarity and caffeinated joy, begin circling Santa like he's a popular pincushion. What next? Should we call in the reindeer for backup? One tiny elf jokes, barely able to contain his giggles. Meanwhile, Sugar Plum, the cockapoo, is running frantically around Santa's fluffy boots, convinced that the tree's elaborate decorations might just have sprung to life as part of some whimsical game of chase. In the midst of these shenanigans, Santa finds himself pausing, contemplating the very essence of his mission. What would Mrs. Claus say if I lost the reindeer tonight? You had one job, Claus, he muses, shaking his head. The imagery is comical. Can you picture it? Mrs. Claus, hands on her hips, while eyeing a beleaguered Santa clutching remnants of the now slumping tree, channeling all the disappointment typical of a sitcom wife witnessing her husband's latest silly endeavor. So enter the humor of technology, folks. Santa begins pondering if his reindeer might have a hidden quest for self-discovery, wanting to break away from their classic image. What if they just wanted to DJ a holiday gala instead of pulling a heavy sleigh? This could turn into a holiday musical. His thoughts tumble forth like ornaments off a table, illustrating a futuristic fete where reindeer rock the dance floor, swaying to the beat of catchy holiday tunes. Just as the hilarity auscultates your giggles, we get to witness the sheer heartwarming chaos that unfolds as Christmas Eve grows later. It's about blended laughter, wild-eyed puppies amidst a holiday snow globe of drama, the reluctant acceptance of the absurd, and the brave jingle of joy amidst calamity. So, dear listener, feel that cozy blanket wrap around you as Santa stumbles through his merry mayhem, and let the jingle bell entropy serenade you into dreams of disco-loving reindeer and laughter-soaked festive escapades. Embrace this glorious ride, allowing yourself to be swept away into sleep while imagining the whimsical, even if chaotic, spirit of Christmas gleaming oh so brightly against a backdrop of delightful disarray. Chapter 12, The Cockapoo Capers. Hey guys, gather around because tonight we are diving into something more chaotic than a kid on a sugar high after discovering a hidden stash of candy canes. Santa's workshop on Christmas Eve. Picture it now, the bustling atmosphere buzzing with excitement and tension as the clock ticks down. But wait, is that laughter I hear? Yes, indeed. It seems our jolly old friend has found himself in a vortex of holiday shenanigans, and just beyond the tangle of gift boxes and sprinklings of glitter, there's a cockapoo ready to escalate the hilarity. As you get cozy, maybe that beloved blanket you refuse to wash because it smells like your cat's dreams, let's pause for a moment and ponder a few pressing questions. Have you, in your infinite wisdom, ever tried to assemble an electronic toy before realizing that the only thing more complicated than the directions is your last relationship? Ever wondered if all pets think of Christmas as the ultimate dart game, where decorations are the bullseye? Or maybe you've contemplated whether Santa has a secret agreement with your favorite local coffee shop, that account that mysteriously gets charged just before the holidays. Congratulations! You've just woken up in 2024
right in the middle of Santa's chaos as he's wallowing in a sea of tinsel and wayward gift-wrapping supplies, alongside an energetic cockapoo named Sugar Plum. Yes, dear friends, it seems that our furry friend has taken the role of chief mischief maker in Santa's workshop. As you settle into this delightful scene, you feel the plushness of the carpet beneath you, the faint smell of peppermint wafting through the air, and the sounds of a jubilant jingling. Enter Sugar Plum, the cockapoo with an exuberance that could rival a toddler with a new puppy. Oh, how she bounces through the workshop. Imagine the scene. Amidst the fallen ornaments and tangled strings of Christmas lights. Oh, and let's not forget Santa, sprawled on the floor like a bag of unwrapped presents. Her fur glistens, almost like a sparkly holiday ornament in the soft gold glow of the workshop lights. And she sees Santa, this stout man who's known across the globe for his merry laughter and hearty appetite. And there he is, cheeks resembling rosy apples, his belly quivering like jelly, utterly at the mercy of this playful whirlwind. Sugar Plum takes the opportunity, launching herself onto him, her little paws tapping about as she showers him in licks, expressing her overwhelming holiday cheer. Now, while most of us would likely respond to an unsolicited kiss from a cockapoo with a melodramatic, "Get off me, I'm busy," Santa's reaction? Pure joy mixed with a flare of perplexity. "I suppose I'm not on the naughty list, huh?" He chuckles between giggles, glancing at Sugar Plum, who seems to think that licking someone's soul free of holiday stress is her top priority. And there lies the absurdity, a jolly Santa, tangled not just in a mess of decorations, but the sheer antics of a cockapoo who clearly feels that tonight is her debut in the role of Santa's official holiday assistant. With her tiny barks and playful nudges, she's orchestrating an impromptu celebration amidst the chaos. But it doesn't stop there. No, sir. As she continues her attack of affection, Santa struggles to sit up, arms flailing in a comedy of errors reminiscent of a silent film star trying to juggle spaghetti. If you were watching closely, you might even catch a glimpse of a classic snow globe teetering precariously on the edge of the table, daring Sugar Plum to take it down as her excitement intensifies. Ah, but that was just a distraction. As the bells ring out and the workshop echoes with laughter, Santa realizes the toys are still awaiting assembly, and the clock's ticking faster than the reindeer awaiting their sleigh. As he glances about, there's an army of toys, tiny cars, singing stuffed bears, and perhaps a few robots programmed to dance, but most likely confused about their holiday protocol. "Oh dear, I can't afford to lose my trusty reindeer tonight," he mutters, and you can't help but wonder, does he believe that Sugar Plum will secretly rally them together like a canine general attempting to organize the cutest coup? The urgency in his eyes only mounts as Sugar Plum takes off toward the nearest half-constructed toy, because clearly the festive spirit mandates that every present involved must be inspected, the way you might scrutinize an expired coupon at a grocery store. She zips around boxes like an Olympic sprinter, her tail a blur of energy and absolute glee, while Santa, recovering somewhat, can do nothing but laugh. "Next year," he promises himself, "I'm hiring a professional therapist for the dogs." As you observe this hilarious tableau, a multitude of
quirky thoughts cross your mind? Have you ever awakened to find a joyous mountain of tangled lights in your living room, like a Christmas version of a yoga class gone horribly wrong? Have you tried misplacing your to-do list, only to find it in the most absurd of places, like stuck in between bags of flour and old takeout containers? At the heart of this delightful spectacle, Santa is learning that the gifts of laughter and unexpected companionship, even if they are covered in drool, are indeed the finest treasures of the holiday season. Huddled together in this vaudevillian act, whipped up by a cockapoo and a very merry, slightly flustered Santa, you can't help but smile, knowing that holiday magic is often wrapped in layers of joy and mayhem, perfect ingredients for the season. Tonight, as Sugar Plum and Santa tumble through their spirited escapade, let yourself drift into slumber like a toy that finally found its box. After all, who could resist dreaming of a reindeer DJ battle under the twinkling stars? Chapter 13. Pajamas, polar bears, and a very unholy shenanigan. Hey guys, gather around because tonight we're diving into something wackier than your favorite Christmas sitcom after too much eggnog. A modern Christmas morning that's part chaos, part comedy, and sprinkled with just enough holiday absurdity to keep you chuckling in your dreams. Picture it now. Imagine a family clad in festive pajamas adorned with polar bear patterns, fluffy socks hugging their feet like a warm hug from an old friend, standing at the bottom of the stairs in complete shock at the spectacle unfolding before them. You might wonder, how is it possible that a 200-pound man dressed in crimson satin is wrestling a Christmas tree? Or is that reindeer-shaped wrapping paper? Or a cry for help? But first, let's take a moment to understand what led to this moment of utter astonishment, shall we? Have you ever glimpsed your dog sniffing around the holiday presents like he's conducting a highly sophisticated investigation into the meaning of life? Or maybe you found yourself battling a set of twinkling lights that seem to have a personal vendetta against your sanity? Ever thought, this would be so much easier if I were a mythical creature with magical powers? Yeah, me too. Congratulations. You've just woken up in 2024, an age of digital wonders where everyone owns a smartphone but is still utterly baffled by the concept of assembling any item that comes with more than 3 screws. Now, mix in the unfiltered chaos of Christmas morning, and you have a recipe for hilarity and hyperactivity. As you step into the living room, the scene of this festive melodrama unfolds. Santa, rather unceremoniously, has decided to treat the living room like a makeshift workshop, with presents strewn everywhere, like he was doing a last-minute inventory check, but forgot to take his morning coffee. There's a half-lit Christmas tree that seems to be leaning to one side, as if it's just lost a heated argument with the ornaments dangling from its branches, adorned with a delightful smattering of candy canes, a few rogue socks, and let's not forget the mysterious jelly bean offerings that seem to have no explanation. Amidst the chaos, your family's eyes widen. These frantic, pajama-clad humans at the bottom of the stairs look like a pod of bewildered seals witnessing a particularly peculiar event. The children's mouths hang open like gaping fish, each one hoping for a glimpse of Santa's sleigh at the window or a reindeer stampede through the living room. Their enthusiasm mixed with disbelief could surely fuel the next great holiday drama. Let's clarify, though. It's not the reindeer who are the main focus of this lavish shenanigan. It's Santa himself, who seems to be involved in an almost comical incident with a cockapoo named Sugarplum. Oh yes, Sugarplum, the pint-sized ball of fluff that has decided to enter the scene like a furry tornado, blitzing through the presents in a whirl of excitement. She's prioritizing the investigation of gift boxes as if she holds the key to a secret holiday code. Each leap and bound comes with a cacophony of laughter as Santa, caught off guard, finds himself face to face with playful chaos. "Oh no, not the sock drawer," he gasps, managing to wrangle himself away from a pile of gifts just in time to see Sugarplum dive headfirst into what appears to be an unholy alliance with a massive stuffed polar bear. Because what better way to kick off the festivities than with an epic showdown between a jolly old man and a plush toy that's threatening to capture his heart, or maybe just his sense of dignity as it manages to knock over a few snow globes in the process. In this blurry moment of winter magic, the family bursts into laughter at the delightful scene unfolding. "Kids, do you see?" one parent chuckles, trying to catch their breath. "This is why Santa can't afford to lose his reindeer on Christmas Eve. He's got more important things to wrangle, like a cockapoo unearthing the secrets of gift-giving." As laughter fills the air, you can practically smell the holiday cinnamon wafting from the nearby kitchen, sweet, comforting, and enticing enough to lure you into the morning festivities, while the looming question of whether or not the family will ever have a peaceful Christmas rather hangs in the air. They're ready for the unwrapping mayhem, the improbable reindeer antics, and the speculation on just how many presents would have been intact without Sugarplum's direct intervention. The whole room is alive with anticipation. Now, amidst all the fluff and joy, it's also impossible not to wonder, is this the Christmas morning where we discover the true meaning of giving, or just a heartfelt reminder that all plans can go sideways faster than you can say Santa Claus is coming to town? And so, there you sit, snuggled into your festive memories, eased by the muffled giggles and cheerful antics of a family showcasing the comedy of errors that is modern-day holiday life. You're reminded that while the world may spin in serious chaos outside, inside, it's all about those moments of joy, laughter, and, of course, the unpredictable advent of a cockapoo plunging into a holiday adventure like she just broke the speed limit. So sit back, relax, and drift into sleep as the sight of Sugarplum and Santa's escapades dance through your mind, perhaps accompanied by visions of reindeer gracefully soaring through the sky. Just don't forget to pack some extra patience, just in case they need it next year.
Chapter 14. Santa, Cookies, and the Calamitous Cost of Reindeer. Hey guys, welcome back to your cozy cove of delightful absurdity. Tonight, prepare to bob along on a festive wave of holiday hijinks, where we explore a scene crazier than a reindeer on roller skates. Picture this. The year is 2024, and you've stumbled into a family living room so packed with holiday spirit that it could only be described as Santa's unofficial rest stop, complete with
cookie crumbs for decor, and the warm scent of cinnamon swirling through the air like it's auditioning for a holiday movie montage. But before we dive headfirst into a plate of chocolate chip cookies, let me ask, have you ever stopped to ponder how many cookies Santa consumes in one night? Does he have an elite cookie sampling team? Or is he just winging it like someone navigating IKEA without a map? And why are we still settling for cold milk when we could at least throw in some marshmallows and see what happens? Is there a secret society of Santa snackers we don't know about? Tonight's escapades are more than just cookie munching. Snuggled up by a roaring fireplace, the jolly old soul, who may or may not be hiding a few extra gingerbread men beneath that bulging coat, is here to recount tales of a night that could easily go down in history as one Santa over the line. Now, let's float into the living room, where the Sanderson family, decked out in their most outrageous festive pajamas, find themselves sharing an unexpectedly chaotic evening with the big man himself. The evening is perfect for cookie-induced dreams and accidental truth bombs, nestled together in a sea of warmth and guffaws. You can practically feel the scent of coiled cinnamon and freshly baked dough wrapping around you like a soft, warm blanket, inviting you deeper into this delightful maze of sugar and holiday spirit. So, picture it. You're sprawled on the couch, clutching a cookie so chocolatey it's practically winking at you. Santa, with a belly that jiggles like a bowl full of jelly, though we all know it might also be a secret stash of holiday candy, eyes the cookie plate with a determination that would make a hungry raccoon proud. His long red coat is slightly rumpled, looking as if it's been through a mixology class involving flour and eggnog.
Ho, 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 wait, are these gluten-free?
He bellows, eyeing the snacks with the scrutiny of a nutritionist at a donut convention. Now that's a sight for sore eyes. As laughter bounces off the walls, the family can't help but admire the amazing mirage of holiday bliss. And then it happens. The ruckus from outside. It's the Sandersons' cockapoo, Sprinkles, charging into the room with the grace of a reindeer who just learned to tango. Sprinkles, in all her fluffy glory, has a habit of making every holiday encounter a wild spectacle. No one would be surprised if she attempted to recruit Santa for some reindeer exercises right on the living room rug.
Sprinkles, no! Yells one of the parents, laughter bubbling over like a frothy cup of holiday cocoa. Not the cookies! But Sprinkles, with a twinkle in her eye, makes a comically daring leap toward the cookie plate. Her nonchalance, a cry for help that sounds suspiciously like, "Give me all your treats." Santa chuckles, throwing up his hands.
I can't believe a little fluff ball is taking my job. I can't afford to lose my reindeer, and now I have a competition in the cookie department.
Because let's face it, the average holiday meltdown takes an unexpected turn when you've got a puppy and Santa in the same room. The energy shifts quicker than a kid on Christmas morning discovering the last doll left in the store. In no time, you've got one family struggling to hold back laughter as the reindeer getaway plan is concocted amid cookie crumbs and the spices of cheerful pandemonium. And as Santa reaches for a cookie with a look of determination, one can't help but wonder, how would you even train a reindeer to handle sugar intake at high speeds? Is there a special workshop in the North Pole? Will there be cookies mixed with mysterious elf magic just to make sure Rudolph doesn't take a nosedive into a bowl of fudge? And just like that, the family spirals into delightful conversation, comparing their kitchen's cookie ritual to those geological events that shook the earth, peeking into traditions that could rival a unicorn learning to play the tuba. So, as laughter bubbles to the surface, with Sprinkles having discovered an adventurous secret stash behind the couch, it becomes clear that this night is less about the cookies and more about connection, camaraderie, and the occasional snack mishap. The warmth of the fireplace mingles with their laughter, soothing the uncertainties of the world outside. And as gentle murmurs of a nonsensical conspiracy fill the room, the comforting thought arises that maybe, just maybe, what holds the world together isn't just the presents or the cookies. It's the moments that keep us decidedly human, and a bit silly. Within these walls, they realize they've wrapped their families in more than just a layer of sweetness. They've entwined themselves in the joy of life's chaos. So, as Santa reaches for another cookie, we giggle with him, knowing he might just need a new pair of pants after tonight's cookie jamming. Now, let this hilariously chaotic evening settle into your dreams like frosting on a cupcake. Because coming up next, a visit from the reindeer, who aren't quite as graceful as they appear to be when landing on rooftops. Stay cozy, and may your dreams be filled with cookies galore.
Chapter 15. Santa, Street Corners, and the Great Reindeer Resignation. Hey guys, welcome back to the snuggly warmth of your nighttime haven, where we explore the uncharted territories of holiday chaos and festive floundering. Grab your coziest blanket and prepare to drift into a world where Santa Claus is just a guy standing on a dark suburban sidewalk in 2024, looking more flummoxed than a confused cat at a dog show. Yep, tonight we're diving into a scenario more absurd than the concept of holiday fruitcake actually being a dessert. Imagine it. The street is eerily silent, blanketed in a shimmery layer of frost that glistens under the moonlight like Aunt Rosie's hideous sequined scarf. Certainly festive, but who on earth would wear that? And here stands Santa, without his trusty reindeer, looking as bewildered as a squirrel trying to remember where it buried its acorns. He's been whistling toward the empty rooftops with a gusto that could wake the neighbors and potentially scare off local raccoons. It's all very dramatic and undeniably silly. But I have to ask, how did Santa end up here, on a quiet street corner, pondering the whereabouts of his reindeer? Is there a shortage of holiday magic? Perhaps he left his sleigh running while he popped into the local 7-Eleven for some emergency eggnog-flavored Slurpees. And why, exactly, does he seem more nervous than a cat in a room full of rocking chairs? Picture it. You're cozied up, wearing your most comforting pajamas. Let's be honest, those oversized ones that definitely don't have a matching set. You pour yourself a cup of hot cocoa,
creating a mountain of whipped cream on top that could make even Mount Everest look modest. You take a sip. Delicious. It's perfectly chocolatey, just like the chaotic scene unfolding outside. But wait, how does a man known for his jolly ways and red suit suddenly appear so perplexed? Coming up next, we'll unravel the age-old mystery of why Santa can't afford to lose his reindeer on Christmas Eve. As you sink deeper into this story, let's think about the logistics. Imagine your holiday shopping list. Does yours include a budget for free-range reindeer? Could you imagine explaining that to your spouse? Honey, I know we're a little over budget for cocoa and cookies, but have you seen the price of a reindeer on the black market? Now, let's head back to Santa, who seems to be having what we might call a reindeer existential crisis. He stands there with his big, fluffy beard fluttering gently in the crisp night air, glancing at his watch, which is surprisingly modern for a guy who rides around the world on a sleigh. "Where are those reindeer?" he mutters, scratching his head. Is he thinking of sending an email? How many notifications does he have stacked up on his phone right now? You can't help but imagine him stuck in a loop of unresponded holiday invitations on social media. Ho ho! I should really reply to that one about the winter cookie bake-off. But where's Dasher? Is he on Instagram again? The air seems to hold its breath. You can almost hear the echoes of a bygone era, where reindeer were just a ride away from ho-ho-hoing through the starry skies. This was a simpler time, long before Zoom calls and online shopping moved in and took over. Was Santa forced to adapt too? Is he considering an Uber service for reindeer? You can just imagine the app interface. Reindeer ride. Don't forget to tip. Unfortunately, in a world full of car-wrapped Christmas cheer, it appears Santa has lost touch. The street is undeniably quiet, save for the whispers of the wind as Santa paces back and forth. You can almost see him kicking at the ground, his heavy black boots clomping in frustration. Perhaps I should have just taken a taxi, he sighs, looking for a sign that reads, Reindeer Rest Stop. As you settle into your comfy spot, perhaps inside that living room where cookies are being consumed at an alarming rate, allow yourself to luxuriate in the absurdity. Can you imagine Santa using Google Maps to track his reindeer? Reindeer docking station, 3,000 feet ahead. Fasten your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. But alas, the humor deepens as we picture Santa trying to negotiate with Dasher about reinstating his active status. Dasher, you can't just go MIA every Christmas Eve. I need you more than that neighbor needs their tires rotated. Stat. The irony of Santa standing on an empty street, looking confused, is like staring at an unfunctioning holiday light strand. It's bewildering, amusing, and oddly heartwarming all at once. Who would have guessed that even Santa Claus would encounter bureaucratic mix-ups and holiday meltdowns? You can almost feel the whimsical tension in the air. Who knew that between delivering gifts and satisfying world hunger,
Santa would face the trials and tribulations of modern-day transportation woes. And just as you think he's about to lose it completely, a soft jingling sound fills the night air. Your heart skips. Could this be the triumphant return of the reindeer? Or, more likely, is Santa about to realize he left the oven on at Mrs. Claus's cooking class? And just like that, the atmosphere shifts like magic. It's calming, yet ripe with the potential for hilarious foibles. Santa, confused but not defeated, takes a deep breath to think only of the big Christmas Eve adventures yet to come. But remember, if he loses the reindeer, he might be forced to find something even more outlandish as a backup plan. Stay tuned, because hilarity is bound to ensue.
Chapter 16. An empty sleigh and a snow-covered mystery. Ah, dear listener, gather round as we plunge headfirst into a scene colder than your half-forgotten leftovers stashed in the back of the fridge. Imagine an empty, snowy roof where Santa's sleigh should be. Yes, that very sleigh you once believed could fly higher than your dreams of winning the holiday bake-off. The gentle glistening of fresh white powder blankets the rooftop, as if Mother Nature herself threw down the ultimate Christmas tablecloth. But wait, what's that? A mere scattering of faint reindeer hoofprints, like tiny confused footprints left by an uncoordinated flock of snow-burrowing rodents. It's all very curious, almost like seeing your cat inexplicably dressed in a Santa suit. Now, let's set the stage a little further. You've probably heard of reindeer flying, delivering gifts, and generally being the epitome of holiday cheer. But right now, it looks oddly quiet up there. Picture yourself snug in your bed, snuggled up tighter than a burrito on taco night. You take a deep breath, and suddenly you're transported to this winter wonderland, perched on the verge of hilarity. Because, let's face it, who loses their sleigh on Christmas Eve? Is Santa secretly Googling transport alternatives, like searching for best sleigh rideshare app? That's the stuff of legends, or memes. So here's a thought. Have you ever woken up to realize your car is missing, only to find out your spouse took it to the grocery store in their pajamas? Or how about that time your phone went missing during a necessity-fueled quest for snacks? Though, I have to say, searching for a traditional sleigh on rooftops is a new level of absurdity. But back to our holiday heist. Santa stands on that snowy rooftop, confused and concerned, examining the ghostly imprints left by his beloved reindeer, who must have pulled some sort of midnight escape act, possibly inspired by an episode of Dancing with the Reindeer Stars. Just envision Santa, the jolliest figure in folklore, sporting a belly that jiggles like a bowl of jelly, is now furrowing his brows in utter disbelief. How could they leave me like this? He sighs, a tone of dismay lacing his voice. We can almost hear the gears of confusion turning in his head, almost as loud as the crunching of snow under his boots. Did they run off to join a less taxing holiday gig? Maybe they stumbled upon a reindeer convention where they can flaunt their antlers and tell tales of past glories like species of their legend at a wildlife symposium. Ah, those reindeer. They were the creme de la creme of the Christmas delivery business, perfectly groomed and trained to pull weights heavier than an overstuffed turkey. On a scale of reindeer possibilities, they range from Dasher, the speedster with aspirations of Olympic gold medal fame, to Rudolph, who has his nose so bright it could light up the entire north side of the neighborhood. But on this fateful night, it feels like Santa's reindeer have turned rogue. Maybe they've opted for an adventure of their own, perhaps a wild, snow-lined escapade in search of the perfect Christmas cookie recipe that truly unlocks the mysteries of holiday baking. Who could blame them? As you look down upon this quirky conundrum, you can almost taste the anticipation of the chaos to come. The image of Santa furiously scrolling through his ancient Word document of Names of Reindeer 101 is comical, to say the least. Okay, guys, where's Blitzen? What about Cupid? Did anyone check Tinder? Suddenly, your favorite Christmas stories begin to unravel into something entirely different. You can't help but chuckle as you ponder what would happen next. Would Santa resort to a helicopter rental? Should he call Dasher on a reindeer hotline, urgently asking, "Did you forget me? Look, we need to have a serious chat about responsibility." And what now? A flurry of questions dances through your mind as you delve into his predicament. Would he end up hosting a Facebook Live search party? Tune in tonight as I search the snowy abyss for the greatest escape artists this side of the North Pole. The absurdity becomes so rich that you can almost smell the buttery popcorn and, ah yes, hot cocoa wafting through the air. Santa could very well be becoming a reluctant reality TV star, living out a food chain ranking that has long been overdue, all while encountering swarms of hashtags and trending topics. Eventually, as you nestle deeper under your cozy blankets, the hilarity of the situation unfolds. You ponder, can Santa really navigate the winds of fate this time? The emptiness of that rooftop seems less a place of despair and more an intriguing portal leading into a winter adventure that was bound to happen. After all, every snowy tale needs an unexpected twist, right? The snowy seam glistens under the moon, the air thick with a comedic tension that's challenging the very concept of holiday spirit. Is it possible that losing his transportation will push Santa to discover a wealth of creativity? Or that a simple parade of Christmas confusion awaits him? A soft, funky jingling fills the air as if teasing his faintest hopes. And maybe, just maybe, the reindeer are out there, preparing a sleigh-filled comeback worthy of a Christmas sequel. So go ahead, let that warmth spread through you as you cuddle up a little tighter, embracing both the absurd and the enchanting. Because if there's one thing we know, it's that Christmas is never just a slip and slide of perfect light displays. It's about finding joy in the little silly details, where even a missing sleigh can lead to a belly laugh stronger than hot mulled wine. As you drift off, keep dreaming of reindeer antics, overflowing stockings, and the hilarity that awaits on every snowy adventure under the moonlit sky.
Chapter 17. Santa in the Family Hatchback.
Hey guys, welcome back to yet another absurd journey into the holiday chaos that is our good old pal Santa. Tonight, we dive into something warmer than grandma's hugs, the inside of a modern family car. packed tighter than a can of sardines at an all-you-can-eat buffet. That's right. Imagine a cozy hatchback filled with family chaos. Santa himself squeezed into the passenger seat, all while expertly not looking like he took up all the legroom. Or space in the universe, for that matter. Before we crank the engine and embark on this ridiculous ride, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. But only if you actually enjoy this. I promise I won't cry into my hot cocoa if you don't. Now, dim the lights. Maybe turn on a fan for that comforting chill of winter and settle in. Because you're in for a tale so delightfully absurd, it's practically purring like a contented cat after a major snack heist. Now, have you ever wondered what it's like to have the entire family piled into a car and your very own Santa Claus wedged in beside you, battling for elbow room? Or perhaps you've experienced that precise moment when someone blurts out a holiday gift idea and it spirals into a chaotic debate over who deserves what? Is that distant sleigh bell sound your grandma listening to a podcast? Or is it just Uncle Dave getting the hiccups after too many eggnog shots? And hey, what kind of elf tech support would Santa need if he accidentally dome-tapped his head against the ceiling during an epic Reindeer Too Tight moment? Congratulations! You've just woken up in 2024, home of the digital age, where holiday cheer is often overshadowed by your neighbor trying to one-up your inflatable snowman display. Let's just say there's a fine line between festive spirit and war transgressions involved in putting up the season's lights. Picture this. A family car packed so full that you'd think they were on track to take part in a version of Extreme Challenges Holiday Edition. You're in the back seat, rubbing shoulders with an energetic cockapoo that has apparently decided to be both Santa's furry sidekick and a bouncing ball of enthusiasm. Why, yes, of course. That's the same ball you meant to bring along for the drive. And over there is Aunt Sally, cheerfully belting out off-key Christmas carols while waving a jingle bell like it's some kind of magical conductor's baton. Now, the moment your eyes fall on Santa, oh my, what a sight. There he is, the harbinger of holiday joy. The figure who inspires untold tales of wonder. And here he is, crammed into your subcompact vehicle, his big white beard plastered against the side window as he gazes wistfully at the winter landscape, presumably pondering whether reindeer navigation works on GPS. "Don't worry, Rudolph," he murmurs softly to himself. "I'll figure it out. Who needs reindeer when I have a clever family and a curated Spotify playlist just perfect for this drive?" Then comes the realization. Santa's not just wearing red. He's also a fashion icon, struggling with the full range of motion in modern seatbelts. A chorus of voices erupts from the back seat as kids argue over whose turn it is to choose the next playlist. You've got little Timmy holding the phone like it's a crown jewel, while his sister steals the spotlight by dramatically announcing, "I was born to rock." It's the kind of family drama that only escalates in a car, with way too many opinions cramped into a space that resembles a game of human Tetris. "Santa," one of the kids pipes up, "if you're bringing us gifts by tonight, shouldn't you, do something magical about now?" can hear the gears turning in the jolly old man's head. "Well, my dears," he replies, "the magic is actually in the bonding moments," which might as well be Santa's code for, "Someone finish this holiday trip without elbowing me in the ribs, please." But of course, as Santa tries to steer the family conversation toward the joy of giving, Aunt Sally chimes in with a debate about the proper temperatures for eggnog. "Now, remember, it must be chilled correctly, or else, oh my, it's just a spiced dairy disaster." Ah, the sweet sounds of familial bliss. As the car rolls along, brushing past twinkling lights more numerous than stars in the night sky, there's a stillness brought not by the quiet magic of the season, but by the realization that they've missed their exit. "U-turn, up ahead," Timmy shouts, his enthusiasm surpassing everyone else's collective confusion. Suddenly, the back seat erupts into a chorus of playful arguments. "No way! What are GPS signals made of, anyway?" Santa, attempting to comfort the restless children, leans in and whispers, "Let's just say elves take this on as part of their job description. Professional pathfinders." If you look closely, you can see a glimmer of mischief under his hat as he secretly pictures the elves using magic to create a reindeer Uber service. Because, let's be real, in 2024, nothing fails quite like trying to navigate with a family on board. Just imagine the absurdity unfolding, the driver meticulously checking under the seats for candy canes forgotten weeks ago, while Santa tries to keep the spirit of happiness alive, already preparing for a family competition on who can come up with the most ridiculous holiday song mashups. Each new idea prompts a giggle, bouncing through the cramped quarters like a piece of popcorn in a hot air popper. As you float through this fanciful, joy-filled moment, the cacophony slowly stirs a warmth within you. Holidays, and especially Santa, funnily enough, aren't just about logistics or even what you give. They are about splashing kindness all over your relations and strolling down the picket fence of laughter. So let the
absurdity of Santa in a hatchback become a memory of joy, discomfort, and happy chaos. After all, that's the essence of the season. As the family rolls on, you realize this isn't just Santa on a trip. This is holiday camaraderie, wrapped in carols and laughter, and you snuggle deeper into your blanket, honoring the continued misadventures that await as the adventure unfolds just outside the window. Chapter 18: Candy Canes and Missing Reindeer. Hey guys, welcome back to the land of holiday whimsy, where every twinkling light could be the beginning of a comedy show. Tonight, we venture into the surreal realm of local parks post-sunset, an enchanting time when the air is filled with the scent of hot cocoa and unfulfilled wishes. Cooler than your aunt's infamous fruitcake. I promise, it's still sitting in the back of her pantry, quietly plotting. Imagine, if you will, a park bedecked with large, glowing candy canes stabbing up from the grass in the most festive manner. It's like Grandma's holiday cheer exploded into giant peppermint sticks. Before we dive into this candy-coated adventure, don't forget to sprinkle some holiday magic by liking, subscribing, and leaving a comment. Only if you truly enjoy this delightful nonsense, of course. You won't hurt my feelings if you don't, but my hot cocoa might shed a tear or two over it. Now, close your eyes and picture yourself sauntering through this bright, festive patch of park, which is surprisingly devoid of little elves running around sprucing up the scene. Or, wait a minute, is that a giggle echoing off those winking candy canes? It's almost like they're whispering secrets about where all the reindeer might have run off to. Ever wondered if they're secretly training as holiday Uber drivers? Or perhaps crafting their own TikTok dance routines? Congratulations! You've just woken up in 2024, where Christmas magic exists, but it comes with a side of modern chaos. As you stroll through this park, the candy canes stand tall, their red and white stripes glowing vibrantly under the moonlight. The soft, squishy grass beneath your feet feels like a cozy rug fresh out of the refreshingly warm dryer. Or, an overused pet bed that hasn't seen a vacuum cleaner in a while. You hear the gentle rustling of leaves, but let's be honest, maybe that's just the result of wind planning an epic prank on unsuspecting holiday revelers. Your heart is full as you gaze at the scene. But wait, where are Santa's legendary reindeer? The ones who usually glide through the snowy skies while chewing on candy canes like they're gourmet snacks? Suddenly, the atmosphere seems almost eerily comical without them. Almost like a circus without clowns, or a holiday party without that one relative who always brings the fruitcake. The sound of crickets fills the air. Perhaps they've formed an awareness group about the missing reindeer. Have you seen them around? Where's the jolly old man without his sleigh? How is he going to manage all those presents? Tune in tomorrow for the real Santa Diaries. Then, as you pause, you hear a far-off chiming. Oh, wait, is that bells? Or are the elves assembling for an emergency meeting about their lost steeds? It's like a game show where the grand prize is a trip to the North Pole, complete with Mrs. Claus's famous cookies. Your imagination runs wild, conjuring images of reindeer roaming the sleepy streets of suburbia, trying to figure out social media hashtags like Rudolph and chill. But while you're busy ruminating on the potential misadventures of Santa's sidekicks, let's not forget the delicious absurdity of Christmas wonder in 2024. The park is now lit, flashing like some fantastical disco dance floor. Imagine the reindeer, decked out with tiny LED accessory harnesses, twirling around like confused disco balls. You know they're muttering to each other about how they didn't sign up for becoming the new holiday influencers, while wandering through twinkly parks full of oversized candy canes. The sweet scent of roasted chestnuts suddenly wafts through the air, mingling with the almost electric ambience, as if the whole park decided to slap on a festive fragrance. You half expect to see Santa pop out of the bushes, saying, "Surprise! I was researching new reindeer management techniques. Wait, where's my sleigh?" Which is a perfectly valid question, considering he left it parked next to the refreshment stand, possibly for a refill of that hot apple cider everyone pretends they enjoy. After all, if you were Santa and had magical reindeer who might have taken off with your sleigh in tow, wouldn't you at least be slightly perturbed? I can't just wander the world in a hatchback, folks. It's sacrilegious, he'd shout,
which might lead to a delightful mishap where he ends up hitching a ride on a very confused suburban family's golf cart. Amidst the colorful chaos, you chuckle as you imagine the elves frantically plotting plans to locate their precious reindeer, possibly deploying a nationwide flyer campaign featuring pictures of assorted antlers and the phrase, "Missing, last seen near a giant inflatable snowman." You can just sense the tension building as they attempt to use the power of social media to solve their holiday crisis, hashtagging every breathless post with "Bring back the reindeer." Meanwhile, you take a moment to enjoy the whimsical landscape, the sugary sweetness of candy canes, the warmth of the festive lights, and the underlying absurdity of it all. What's Christmas without a bit of mischief, right? Sure, Santa might be flustered as he races to gather his critters on Christmas Eve, but isn't that part of the charm? To share in the laughter while the world spins in holiday mayhem takes the cake. Or, should I say, cookie? So as you let these visions swirl through your mind, hold on to the laughter. You never know when Santa might accidentally drop by your neighborhood with a couple of overly excited reindeer looking for directions. Perhaps they'll show up with some real festive stories to share, all while you drift off into sweet dreams, comforted by the delightful absurdity of holiday magic and missing Christmas critters. Chapter 19. Santa's Rustic Hideaway and the Great Reindeer Debate. Hey guys, welcome back to our cozy little corner of holiday hilarity. Tonight, we plunge into a scene as heartwarming as your favorite holiday movie. If your favorite holiday movie was about a stressed-out Santa rummaging through piles of golden hay in a rustic stable while trying to locate his star players, the reindeer. Yes, this stable feels more festive than a Christmas cookie exchange gone wildly off script. Picture it, hoofprints littered across the floor like a secret message written in mud, and the sweet smell of damp straw mixing with a hint of cinnamon, making your nostrils twitch like you just caught a whiff of Grandma's secret eggnog recipe. But before we stumble upon Santa's crisis, remember to sprinkle some joy on our channel. Like, subscribe, and leave a witty comment if you can't resist. But only do it if you truly appreciate this delightful nonsense. My hot cocoa will thank you, and, conveniently, so will your future sweet dreams. Now, let's settle in, dim the lights, and cozy up like a bunch of mischievous elves hiding from the Christmas shopping frenzy. Have you ever wondered what Santa truly thinks while he's stuck in a stable filled with horses who are definitely not providing helpful GPS advice? What's his backup plan if Rudolph decides to take a break from his spot as the lead reindeer, opting instead for a mid-December vacation on a sunny beach? And can we take a moment to acknowledge the great mystery of our age? Why Santa's sleigh still runs on reindeer power when electric ones exist? Congratulations! You've just woken up in December 2024, the year everything goes sideways in the most festive way possible. As you gaze around this rustic stable, you notice the drafty wooden beams creaking as if they have quaint old tales to tell. The horses stand at their stalls, peering at Santa and a gaggle of excited children rummaging through piles of golden hay, each looking for an elusive reindeer. Their big brown eyes glimmer as they wonder if their favorite reindeer might be hiding in plain sight, perhaps underneath a mound of hay, like it's an award ceremony for the best hiding spot of the year. The stable itself is a whimsical chaos. Wooden beams adorned with twinkling fairy lights, probably left over from last year's festivities, snaking across the ceiling like they're trying to escape the boredom of being holed up all year. You breathe in deeply. The air smells like a mix of fresh-cut hay and something suspiciously close to a Christmas ham. What's happening here, horses? When was the last time you felt the need to spice up your diet with holiday poultry? As laughter fills the air, you can't help but chuckle at the awkward scene. Children are sifting through hay like it's a treasure hunt, each convinced they'll uncover a reindeer stuffed with holiday cheer, or at least a gold-plated candy cane. Just imagine what it must be like listening to Santa, the epitome of jolly, decked out in his bright red suit, pleading with his four-legged companions. Could you please just help me out here? I can't deliver presents without my trusty sleigh drivers. Ah, the horses. Imagine them rolling their eyes as they pile hay in strategic, ridiculous formations. They might think they're getting into the spirit of the holidays, but really, they seem more committed to the idea of becoming jockeys in a Christmas parade preview than actual help. Oh, look, Santa's looking for reindeer. Let's play hide and seek with hay. You can almost hear them whispering, or at least feel the ghost of their judgment wafting through the air. Meanwhile, the kids are on a mission. I found a carrot. Your reindeer will love it, one shouts, waving his prized vegetable like it's a trophy. But let's be real. It's likely a snack for the horses nearby, who are now eyeing that orange beauty as if it were the holy grail of holiday fodder. Hey, Santa, I don't think they can help you. Maybe it's time to finally upgrade to self-driving sleighs? Another kid giggles from a pile of hay, creating a mini mound of giggles and slightly confused horses. Santa's face, usually as bright as Rudolph's nose, momentarily clouds with despair. What if I lose my reindeer? How will I? But fear not. Distractions are afoot as children begin a straw-throwing contest. They hurl hay like little elves lost in a festive frenzy, while Santa enacts a dramatic swoon, clutching his heart as he watches holiday chaos unfold. At this rate, you'll all need to elf yourself into action, he chortles, clearly trying to lighten the mood, while secretly wondering if hay could be classified as the 8th food group. In moments like these, the true spirit of the holiday season shines, a swirling blend of laughter, mild panic, and absurdity. It's comforting to know that Santa isn't just the jolly man from the North Pole. He's a parent at heart, imperfect and hilariously overwhelmed, just like every one of us. So, as the children unleash their boundless holiday energy, Santa can't help but find solace in the hilarity of the moment, even if it involves reindeer that have mysteriously ghosted him at the most inconvenient time. As you ebb into the warm glow of this enchanting, if chaotic, scene, let your laughter wrap around you like a snuggly holiday blanket. In this bizarre world filled with adorable chaos, you'll drift into dreams of reindeer zooming through the sky, dressed in tiny elf suits, orchestrating the chaos of holiday delivery with finesse. And remember,
In the absurdity of life, we often find the most comforting moments. So, close your eyes, let the humor suffice, and embrace the delightful mania of season's greetings, where laughter and festive spirit are but a haystack away.
Chapter 20.
The Polar Bear Pajama Revelation. Hey guys, welcome back to our cozy corner of holiday hilarity, where tonight's tale is fluffier than a cloud made of marshmallows and considerably more absurd than a cat trying to operate a Roomba. Imagine a little girl clad in polar bear pajamas. Yes, the ones that make her look like she just stepped out of a wintry wonderland designed by someone who lost a bet. She's standing in her backyard, pointing with the fervor of a treasure hunter who just found the last slice of pizza in the fridge. What's capturing her attention, you ask? A large, puffy white cloud glowing with a mysterious red light that potentially could be Santa's mismanaged cybersecurity crisis, or, more likely, a faulty Christmas light display gone rogue. It's Christmas Eve, 2024, and you better believe things are about to get delightfully silly in ways that would make even the Who's of Whoville nod in approval. But how did we get here? Well, before we delve into this absurd spectacle, lighten up the mood by giving that like button a gentle tap, subscribing for your dose of holiday mischief, and dropping a carefully crafted comment. But only if you genuinely find this delightful chaos enjoyable. My Coco appreciates only the most sincere praise. Let's take a moment to ponder a few questions that have undoubtedly crossed your mind. Ever wondered what Santa does when his reindeer misplace their GPS during a foggy sleigh ride? Or how many hours he spends on Pinterest trying to craft the perfect sleigh ornament? Could you even imagine the kind of mishaps that might happen if he accidentally switched to decaf right before his big night? Congratulations, you've just woken up in 2024, the year everything went delightfully sideways during the most magical night of the year. Now, let's set the scene. You're standing in this backyard, and the air is crisp, like biting into a cold apple on a chilly winter day. The neighborhood is silent, save for the occasional crunch of snow beneath your feet. The smell of cinnamon wafts in from the kitchen, mixed with the subtle but persistent aroma of the dog. Yes, the family's cockapoo is excitedly digging to uncover ancient chew toys buried beneath the freshly fallen snow. That little ball of fluff is living his best life, likely planning to run laps around the backyard on caffeine-fueled whimsy. Suddenly, the wavy glow of that mysterious red cloud captures your full attention. Is it a UFO? A rogue Christmas light? Or has Rudolph finally gone rogue and started a side gig as a meteorologist? You can't help but wonder if maybe, just maybe, that cloud is Santa's clear sign that he's in desperate need of help, or perhaps a nap. As you gaze upwards, you catch sight of bits of glimmering starlight winking down at you, as if they're winking at your sheer ridiculousness. What is going on with that cloud? You muse aloud, calling to the cockapoo, who seems more fascinated with digging for buried treasure than contemplating the cosmic mysteries above. Do you think Santa forgot the sleigh at the last gas station? The wind whispers through the trees, playing a gentle melody that suggests it is in on the joke. The scene feels like it could be straight out of a sitcom. You, the girl in the polar bear pajamas, pondering the fate of a glow-in-the-dark cloud, while your dog looks on with that
adorable confusion only a canine brain can muster. Seriously, if that cloud were any more questionable, it would be begging for a book club for unrecognized phenomena on Netflix. Hey, maybe if I wish really hard, I can convince Santa to send another reindeer as backup. I mean, what's one more sleigh driver going to hurt? You call out, half hopeful, half sarcastic. The cockapoo pauses, tilting his head as if he's pondering the legitimacy of your plan. Little does he know, he's about to embark on a journey filled with accidental holiday mischief. Now, let's talk about that cloud. As it floats gently by, luminescent and slightly unnerving, you might consider that it could also be a manifestation of poor holiday planning. Picture Santa frantically waving his arms, as confused as a cat in a bathtub, trying to control his ragtag band of reindeer who are too busy determining which way to fly for an Instagram-worthy puff of snow. Meanwhile, the little girl in polar bear pajamas, bless her, seriously contemplates what would happen if Santa needed to recruit a couple of neighborhood kids as backup. Crowds of hopeful holiday helpers gather in pajamas, clutching carrots and tangled strings of fairy lights that have definitely seen better days. Hey kids, who wants to join Team Save Santa? The thought bubbles in your mind, and soon you find yourself lost in the hilarious visualization of children yelling nonsensically while accidentally launching off fireworks just to prove they're capable of turning the night into a chaotic Christmas special. It's the kind of improvisation that reminds you that everything in life is better with a touch of sparkle, preferably essential to causing minor chaos. As you take another glance at the glowing cloud, you can't help but chuckle. After all, even if Santa were to crash land, your magical backyard would become the latest hotspot for an outrageous North Pole drama. Just imagine sitting around a fire, sipping hot cocoa, and recounting the tale of how one girl in polar bear pajamas, with the unyielding hope of Christmas spirit, saved the day, or at least provided a spectacular distraction. So, as the glow gently fades and the winter night continues its serenade, allow your thoughts to drift and swirl like those whimsical clouds. You never know what mischief and laughter await, especially in the magical world where pajama-clad dreamers see more than mere clouds. They see a canvas of goofy adventures waiting to unfold. Chapter 21. The Abandoned Sleigh Dilemma. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, where tonight's tale is colder than a polar bear's pajamas after a dip in the Arctic. Yes, we're diving headfirst into the absurd, possibly sacrilegious, but definitely cozy chaos of Christmas 2024. Picture this: Santa's sleigh, bright red, with a cherry polish that could deflect sunlight, sits abandoned on a deserted road, its golden harnesses draped dramatically on the ground like a collapsing circus tent. A sight that makes you think, is this a call for help, or just a really unfortunate fashion statement? Before we roll deeper into Santa's saga of misadventure, I encourage you to press that like button as gently as if it were made of candy canes. Subscribe for more holiday hijinks, unless, of course, you don't enjoy this delightful chatter, in which case, that's perfectly fine. And feel free to drop a comment if something tickles your funny bone.
Just promise to keep it sincere. My Coco has sensitive feelings. Now, let's get cozy. Dim the lights, wrap up your blankets tighter than a pig in winter gear, and brew some hot cocoa. But be careful. Don't spill it on your favorite sweater, unless you're looking to start a new holiday trend. Ever wondered why Santa's GPS has always been faulty? Or how those reindeer managed to stay on a diet fueled by nothing but carrots and holiday cheer? Could you ever imagine a Santa's reindeer conditioning coach trying to enforce a strict fitness regime? Rudolph, you can't fly unless you finish your kale. Congratulations, my dear friend. You've just woken up in the bustling absurdity of 2024, where everything might go sideways on the most magical night of the year. As we unfurl this whimsical world, let's set the scene. The air is electric with wintry anticipation, almost thick enough to slice with a candy cane. The neighborhood is eerily quiet, as if the houses themselves are holding their breath. You can almost hear the faint giggles of jolly elves hidden behind snow-covered roofs, while the neighborhood's cockapoo, a furry tornado of mischief, prowls suspiciously around your feet. The smell of burnt cookies sneaks from the kitchen, a delicate reminder of someone's attempt at Christmas baking gone slightly awry. Now, picture this abandoned sleigh, glistening under a shy moonlight, almost as if its owner, the one and only Santa Claus, decided to visit the North Pole's version of a spa day right before Christmas. The harnesses lay crumpled like lost dreams in a year where the world itself can't figure out how to assemble IKEA furniture properly. You start to wonder if Santa is just sitting stranded somewhere, sipping hot cocoa, grumbling about the last-minute Wi-Fi outage that stalled his sleigh's navigation system. How can I deliver toys without Google Maps? You chuckle softly, half wondering if Santa might need a reindeer GPS upgrade. Let's talk about that
Sleigh for a moment. It's more than just Swede craftsmanship. It's a high-tech marvel equipped with gadgets that would put the latest smartphones to shame. A single button labeled Reindeer SOS likely sits there, just begging for attention. And here's where it gets tricky. Remember that time you tried to figure out how many combination locks you'd need to open a single holiday gift? Multiply that by 1,000, and you start to understand Santa's predicament when it comes to unlocking his trusty steeds. It's like navigating an existential crisis fueled by holiday spirit and just a hint of panic. Meanwhile, imagine Santa trying to recruit some last-minute help. "Hey kids," he says, swinging open the sleigh door, only to step out into a snowdrift that's actually deeper than his haphazardly raised sleigh. "I need assistance. Who knows how to operate a vintage sleigh in a snowstorm?" And just as he strikes a brave pose, the neighborhood cockapoo bounds over, ready to inspect the cargo of Christmas goodies, while you mentally prepare for the impending chaos that will ensue. As you gaze into the depths of that sleigh, surrounded by a mix of plush toys and electronic gadgets that are about as easy to assemble as putting together a home treadmill, you can't help but think about what's at stake. Santa's holiday reputation hangs in the balance like an ornament on a tree. If he loses his reindeer, he'll have to turn to that Uber Eats driver who only delivers on weekdays. And can you even begin to imagine Santa haggling with a groggy adult about toy delivery timing? Listen, how about a 30% tip if you throw in the reindeer? There's plenty of mischief to go around, and soon you find yourself chuckling over the image of Santa frantically pacing, more panicky than a cat in a dog park, contemplating how to recruit some help. Perhaps he'll draft a few neighborhood kids into the Santa's Reindeer Reenactment Society, where they'll strap on their respective furry jackets and act as living GPS units, guiding Santa through a thicket of pine trees while avoiding rogue holiday decorations. As the stars twinkle and the moon grins in a way that suggests it might be up to some tricks of its own, you lean back, comforted by the warmth in your heart and the silliness swirling around you. Awash in holiday dreaminess, you can't help but realize that even the most iconic figures encounter ridiculous stumbling blocks during their big moments. So settle in under those cozy blankets. Let the absurdity of Santa's abandoned sleigh reflect through your dreams. And remember, it takes a village to save Christmas, even if that village might be filled with pajama-clad kids and a courageous cockapoo. So drift into a more whimsical slumber and dream of reindeer prancing across twinkling rooftops while chaos reigns below. Because, really, who wouldn't want to spend Christmas Eve with the possibility of a snowstorm?
Shenanigans waiting just around the corner.
Chapter 22.
The Sleigh of Merry Memories. Hey guys, tonight's story is as enchanting as trying to teach a cat to swim, and just a smidge more productive. We're delving into a mystical realm where even Santa Claus needs potentially life-altering familial intervention to save Christmas. While you prepare to join the whimsical chaos, let me ask you, have you ever sent a text to a group chat and backtracked harder than a reindeer on ice? Or how about that moment you sat down to open gifts, only to find the kids stealing the show from the adults? Well, get ready, because tonight's tale includes all that, plus flying sleighs, holiday cheer, and a sprinkle of the absurd that'll have you chuckling right into your dreams. Before we jump into this merry adventure, let's do the old clickety-click. If you enjoy us rambling about festive shenanigans, gently press that like button. It's like petting a reindeer, super satisfying, and nobody gets hurt. If you're feeling extra jolly, subscribe and drop a comment, but only if you want to. I'm no reindeer herder demanding certain rituals for the holidays. So, my dear dream traveler, let's settle into this cozy moment. Dim the lights like you're trying to surprise your partner with a romantic dinner, only to realize you've burnt the chicken. Pull those blankets closer than a family huddle during a power outage, and maybe treat yourself to a steaming cup of cocoa. But be careful, don't spill it, unless you want to start the holiday grumpy sweater trend. Ever wondered how many awkward moments it takes before even Santa's list goes digital? How likely is it that you'd catch the star of a Christmas show frantically Googling how to operate a sleigh built in 1824? Payload stress levels rising, and here we go. Congratulations! You've just woken up in a cozy cabin snuggled under layers of glowing holiday lights, where the air is tinged with cinnamon and faint whispers of trouble brewing just outside. Inside the sleigh, you find yourself crammed beside jolly old Saint Nick and the delightful Sanderson family, who are bracing themselves for what can only be described as the most whimsical flight of their lives. As you close your eyes, the sleigh begins to glow softly, casting a soothing light around the cabin. You can almost hear the faint tinkling of bells reverberating in the air around you, a melodic promise of adventure. It's like the sound you'd hear if holiday spirit were given a voice, joined by the occasional yip of the family's cockapoo, Ollie, who's even taken it upon himself to guard a pile of marshmallow fluff like it's the last backup for dessert. Good luck, Ollie.
Okay, everyone, Santa says in his deep, luscious baritone, which could melt chocolate from 20 paces. Let's focus on our happiest Christmas memories. Picture a beautiful tree, glimmering ornaments, and family laughter hovering around like little elves on a sugar high. The Sanderson.
Family exhales together, and the warmth of their treasured memories begins to flow like hot chocolate at a winter festival.
There's Mr. Sanderson reminiscing about his childhood, when his dad borrowed the neighbor's ladder to try and hang a star that was as crooked as his holiday guesses. Or remember last year, when we tried to bake cookies and set the fire alarm off? Mrs. Sanderson chuckles, her laughter bubbling up like overcooked eggnog. It's the kind of chaos that carves itself into Christmas lore, the sort of legendary mishaps worthy of annual retelling over too many mugs of cocoa. Then, little Timmy chimes in with wide eyes. What about the time we all got stuck in the tree during a snowball fight? I was pretty sure my cousins were planning a coup to reclaim the last of the cookies. The giggles echo off the sleigh walls. Chubby-pawed Ollie prompting a little bark that sounds more like a chuckle. The memories turn into glimmers of sparkles in the glowing air, each one more luminous than the last. Santa gently sways, a radiant smile brushing his beard. Now, can you hear the rustle of wrapping paper? Feel the sticky sweetness of candy canes lingering on your lips, and smell the pine trees that echo from one magic moment to the next. The glow intensifies as each memory weaves itself around you, like a freshly knitted holiday sweater, definitely slightly itchy, but also endlessly heartwarming. As laughter fills the cabin, you can't help but think, imagine if I tried to convince my boss that my most productive hours happen while I'm eating Christmas cookies, surrounded by chaos. The comforting absurdity of life in this moment seems to amplify every whimsical layer of holiday revelry, wrapping you in the peace of the present, while distinctly preventing any fear about the future. Suddenly, a yelp from Ollie breaks the bubble of hilarity. Santa turns to him, eyebrows raised. Now, Ollie, what's got you riled up? With a quick, surprised wiggle, Ollie leaps up onto Santa's lap, clearly making himself the top dog, quite literally. I see you're eager for reindeer rides. Santa tugs at the buttons of his coat, likely debating if bantering with a dog is as difficult as communing with teenagers over TikTok trends. As you soak in this enchanting experience, each glowing memory courses through the sleigh like a main line of joy. You realize that while Santa must deliver gifts across the globe and keep his reindeer in line, it's these small pockets of family, laughter, that sprinkle like fairy dust across the holiday landscape. And suddenly, you're feeling just drowsy enough to surrender yourself to a dream where cookies are never burnt and every family gathers around for a story, but most importantly, where joy reigns supreme, just as it should. So, let the glow of those holiday memories carry you away, turning you into a subtle narrator in a joyful Christmas tale of warm hearts and home. And remember, never underestimate the power of a cozy sleigh ride, some marshmallows, and a synchronized family group hug or two. Let them guide you into a peaceful slumber where reindeer are abundant, laughter never halts, and every memory sparkles gloriously. Chapter 23, The Magical Liftoff. Hey guys, as we cozy back into the tales of holiday magic, let's just say tonight's narrative is going to be as unpredictable as a cat trying to navigate a laser pointer frenzy. We're diving straight into the whimsical world of Santa Claus, and a ride that's so fantastical, even your most enthusiastic smoothie maker would say, "Whoa, slow down." Picture your average Christmas Eve, but with just a hint of chaos and a sprinkle of unbridled holiday spirit. If you're feeling those post-Thanksgiving turkey-laden regrets lingering around your waistline like an ex who overstayed their welcome, then fear not. For tonight's adventure, you won't need to fasten your seatbelt, but be sure to prepare your imagination as if you were about to take a thrilling roller coaster at Christmasland, where every twist and turn leads to a giant pile of marshmallows. Before we lift off toward this magical realm, do me a solid. Give that like button a tap like it owes you money. And if you feel like adding a sprinkle of love to this channel, consider subscribing. Only if you actually enjoy this. I won't be pulling any stunts involving an industrial-sized candy cane here. Now, let's set the scene. Dim those lights until you can barely see your dog staring judgmentally at all the holiday decorations. Turn on a fan to simulate that refreshing blast of winter air. And can you imagine what it's like to wear a snowsuit that belongs to your cousin and smells like pickles? What a peculiar odor to infuse with holiday cheer. And hey, while you're snugging up that blanket, ask yourself, if Santa's sleigh operates more on holiday spirit than mechanical engineering, why does every car on the road seem to run better than his? Isn't it about time to upgrade that glorious red contraption? Congratulations, you've just woken up in the magical year of 2024, where Wi-Fi connects faster than it takes Aunt Linda to finish telling her holiday casserole saga. In front of you is a magnificent red sleigh, glowing like it just got a fresh coat of miracle paint, surrounded by a swirling aura of golden sparks and what can only be described as Christmas magic on steroids. Let's talk about this sleigh for a moment. It's not just any sleigh. Oh no. This sleigh is the apex of vehicular absurdity. There's a shiny GPS blinking frantically, clearly having an identity crisis as it tries to make sense of a map that looks like Santa had a few too many eggnogs before attempting to chart his course. The swirling golden sparks, those aren't merely for show. They tell you that this sleigh is at least 30% more likely to get lost in a snowstorm than your Uncle Gary after he's promised to be right back from the liquor store. The air crackles with anticipation as Santa, clad in his iconic red suit, probably tailored by those crafty elves, grips the reins. "All righty then," he booms, his voice resonating through the map.
Cabin like a bass speaker at a holiday disco.
Time to connect. So who's been practicing their Christmas spirit? Remember, enthusiastic thoughts can help this baby soar.
You stare out into the night sky, a galaxy of stars twinkling against a velvety backdrop, resembling a holiday card that's finally decided to come to life, only without the awkward family photos.
The sleigh jiggles and shakes, yet you can't help but notice it's missing something crucial. The reindeer. Just like a Thanksgiving dinner missing the turkey, chaotic, yet questionably delightful. As if on cue, a golden spark zaps down, illuminating the barn roof a few yards away, no doubt cheering on the reindeer. "Don't you worry, lads," Santa chirps dramatically, as if they can hear him through the walls. "I'm dragging this sleigh out of 3036646 hours of latency. The data's hoping to keep this job, one magical Christmas at a time." The sleigh begins to tremble and shake, like your best friend's homemade fruitcake ready to go airborne. The golden sparks swirl around with a life of their own, chanting Christmas carols in what can only be a jubilant attempt to get things off the ground. You feel the change in gravity, just like when you step on your scale after a holiday party, desperately wishing it could be broken like your last New Year's resolution. In an effort to focus, the Sanderson family, whose faces are peering out at the wonderment around, take a collective deep breath, resembling a synchronized swimming team practicing for the Olympics of cheer. "All together now," Mr. Sanderson announces, as everyone aligns their thoughts, the energy vibrating in the air with childlike excitement, and maybe a tic-tac-toe strategy handheld for fun. Now, imagine this, if you will. The engine sounds a lot like Santa's heavy chuckle, with a hiss reminiscent of the family cat escaping a drenching bath. And suddenly, with a whoosh, the magical sleigh begins to lift off the ground. Yes, that's right, it's happening. Like trying to casually leap out of a window with spaghetti in hand, it's glorious chaos, but nobody seems to be panicking just yet. "Up, up, and away," Santa calls. The sheer magnificence of levitation could put any superhero movie to shame. The lights of the cabin flicker, and the sweet scent of peppermint rushes over you. "All systems go, folks. Remember, the only way we go down is if your holiday spirit dies. I don't think I have insurance for that kind of thing." As the sleigh rises higher into the crisp midnight air, you glance at the window, earthly delights fading away as the golden sparks trail behind you like the most ridiculous string of fairy lights you've ever tried to untangle. The cozy warmth inside bursts with laughter, and for just a moment you realize that the only flight path you really care about is the one leading straight into the heart of a Christmas miracle. Yes, as you float higher and
Higher, away from the mundane routine of daily life. Let each sparkle tickle your senses and cradle you softly into the absurdity of it all. In this magical green and red world, bliss reigns supreme, and you're bound for the next part of this whimsical journey, where joy and laughter await, just a gleaming glimmer ahead. Chapter 24, Bursting Through the Clouds. Hey guys, as we float deeper into this enchanting tale, get ready for something so magical it could make a unicorn blush. Tonight, we're about to experience a sleigh ride that bursts through layers of thick, moonlit clouds, like your Aunt Edna after she's downed one too many holiday cocktails. Imagine being flung into an adventure as whimsical and unpredictable as a piñata at a toddler's birthday party. What could possibly go wrong, right? Now, before we propel ourselves skyward, do me a solid. Give that like button a tap like it's the snooze button on a Monday morning alarm. And if you're feeling generous in the spirit of the holidays, maybe consider subscribing. But only if you actually enjoy this. I promise no elves will come knocking at your door
demanding payment in cookies. Unless you're into that sort of thing. As you settle into your cozy nook, dim those lights until you can barely see the ancient cat glaring at you from the shadows. Maybe turn on a fan to simulate that crisp winter air. And while you're at it, ask yourself, why do holiday recipes always involve more ingredients than a science experiment gone rogue? Why is your neighbor's inflatable Santa more inflated than your desire to socialize? And just how many cookies does it take to fuel a sleigh ride around the world? Spoiler, a lot. Congratulations! You've just woken up in 2024, the year where the only time people leave their couches is to chase down food delivery. You find yourself nestled tightly in Santa's sleigh, surrounded by vibrant red and green decorations, glimmering like a holiday-themed disco ball. If disco balls could magically fit an entire family of elves. The air is thick with the scent of hot cocoa and excitement, tinged with that slight whiff of, was that peppermint? Or did someone just open a can of holiday despair? Can we take a minute to appreciate the sheer ridiculousness of this sleigh? It's not just a mode of transport, it's a phenomenon. There's a glimmering GPS, blinking like it's on a caffeine binge, trying to navigate a map adorned with mysterious routes named Chimney Squeak Lane and Reindeer Parkway. Do you think it's possible for a GPS to have an existential crisis? Recalculating must be the holiday equivalent of I give up. Now, picture this. As you hurtle through the cool night air, the sleigh bursts through a soft layer of currant-flavored clouds, revealing a breathtaking panorama of marshmallow-like white peaks, high above the world of ordinary things, like your neighbor's questionable taste in lawn ornaments. Each fluffy peak looks like it's been sculpted by culinary gods prepping for a competition on the Food Network. The clouds swirl and glow, lit by the soft silver of the moon, illuminating a whimsical landscape that seems to be saying, "Ah, but your Monday morning commute will never look this good." You can practically feel the excitement crackle in the air, mixed with the slight fear of ending up FaceTiming your cat while careening off course.
Hold on tight, folks,
Santa booms, his voice echoing throughout the sleigh like an overly enthusiastic karaoke rendition of Jingle Bells.
We're about to break through the final stratosphere of holiday mayhem.
And just like that, the sleigh shudders. Because let's face it, anyone who's purchased a flat-pack item from a Swedish furniture store knows the terror of assembly. It's almost an art form. And here you are, riding through the clouds in something that requires nothing more than holiday spirit to function. Let's take a moment to appreciate the engineering wizardry. No bolts are involved here, just a healthy dose of magic dust and the occasional festive miracle. As the towering peaks unfold before you, their soft, pillowy slopes seem to beckon. Do you want to ski down these fluffy mountains? They whisper in tones as sweet as your favorite holiday cookies, straight from the oven. But this isn't your average ski holiday, oh no. You can almost hear Santa add
with a cheeky grin. "Just remember, no snowballs until we're off the sleigh." The gleaming golden sparks trailing behind you look almost like celebratory fireworks, illuminating the ski slopes like a Christmas special that stretches a tad too long but is so ridiculous you can't help but watch. The exhilaration seems palpable, like that moment right before you open a gift, the anticipation mingling with a hint of fear of finding yet another pair of socks. And there it is, the grand reveal of an entire hidden world above the clouds, where the air is crisp and the folks below are blissfully unaware of the whimsical happenings above them. You glance out and notice, it's not just the clouds that are fluffy, the entire landscape seems plush, like being embraced by a giant, furry holiday spirit who just wants you to be happy, and maybe steal your cookies on the way out. Everything seems sparkly and surreal, more than a fancy beverage in a glittery cup. There are gingerbread houses growing out of the hills, cozy cabins that sparkle like they've just seen their first holiday light display, and even a collection of snowman sculptures that look broader than your Uncle Bob after he's eaten all the leftovers. And as the sleigh soars over this winter wonderland, you can't help but chuckle. Who knew all it took was some holiday spirit and a hearty dose of laughter to elevate everything? So here you are, riding high in the clouds, bursting with joy and anticipation, ready for whatever zany adventure awaits next. Just remember, in a world filled with sugary dreams, the skies are truly the limit. Unless you spill the hot cocoa, then it's just a slippery slope toward disaster. But don't worry about that now. Strap in tight, because the adventure is just getting started. Chapter 25. Cloud 9 and Cozy Reindeer. Hey guys, settle in, take a deep breath, and let your mind start to drift like an inflatable Santa on a breezy July day. Tonight, we're about to visit a form of relaxation that's softer than a marshmallow's underbelly. And trust me, it's so cozy, you might just want to consider taking up permanent residence there. Picture it now, a world where reindeer lounge about like lazy cats in a sunbeam, a realm so enchanting it's akin to finding an extra fry at the bottom of your takeout bag. This is no ordinary day. It's a night where those magical reindeer you thought were just holiday myths are in fact lounging atop fluffy clouds, lightly snoring with noses that glow as brightly as your Aunt Myrtle's light-up holiday sweater. And you might want to ask yourself, what would it be like if reindeer had the audacity to claim a prime cloud real estate just because? Before we journey to Cloud 9, do me a solid. Light up that like button as if you're trying to find the snooze button at 5 a.m. And if you're feeling particularly festive, consider subscribing. I promise there will be no elves on your doorstep asking for payment in cookies, unless you've got the type of cookies they'd want. And let's be honest, you know we all have that one recipe that's literally the one. Now, snuggle up in your blanket, dim those lights until all you can see is the mysterious face of your cat, and let's reflect. When was the last time you saw a snowman wearing sunglasses? Or tried to have a serious conversation with your cockapoo while he conveniently forgot all about your no treats rule? Isn't it hilarious how a reindeer might need therapy for the existential crisis
of knowing they were once Santa's prime mode of transportation. You wake up in 2024, and the only thing missing is your alarm clock blaring at you because, obviously, in a world where clouds could serve as lounging chairs, alarms would be sounding like cheerful harps instead. Yes, you're nestled among fluffy white clouds that resemble giant cotton balls fresh from the laundry. And who wouldn't want to get lost in this cotton candy kingdom? As you look around, you realize these reindeer are far more than just holiday helpers. They're the elite clientele of Cloud Town, sipping imaginary lattes and, for some odd reason, gossiping about the whispers of new GPS technology that could actually keep Santa on schedule. Their glowing noses shine brighter than the dashboard lights in your car when it's telling you to check your gas. And let's face it, if these reindeer had the same tech savviness as your Uncle Steve during video calls, we'd all be in big trouble. What do you mean I can't just eat the mic? It seems like I'm so close, right? Let's explore the dreamscape of our cozy cloud lair. Picture this: a plush cloud beneath you, invitingly soft, enveloping you as if you were being swaddled by 1,000 tiny marshmallows who'd just watched a motivational video on hugs. The air is fragrant with the scent of freshly baked gingerbread, wafting in from distant realms where cookie elves are frantically trying to meet their quota for the year. The sounds? Oh, it's like a blend of jingling bells and the faint murmur of reindeer chatter, sprinkled with the occasional snore that almost sounds like a cat's purr. Just imagine a sneaky reindeer trying to roll over in its sleep, oblivious to the three nearby listening in on a "we're not as lazy as you think" committee meeting. And let's not skip over their playful antics. Occasionally, one reindeer will toss a puff of cloud in another's direction, and before you know it, even the big one with the glowing nose is dodging like a 10-year-old at a dodgeball match. Just picture it, a reindeer strategically sidestepping, like it's in an advanced cloud version of an Olympic event. It's the sort of level of absurdity that makes you question your entire life when you realize you're laughing as if you really did just see a pig fly. Now, the clouds swaying beneath your head bring you to a gentle lull as you contemplate the profound question: how does Santa keep track of all this goat-like energy? Between raiding the cookie stash and directing a sitcom of shiny noses, they're juggling more tasks than a circus performer on roller skates. It's almost too absurd to fathom. Can you imagine attempting to organize a delivery service with a family of reindeer who get sidetracked, contemplating if clouds should be the next kitchen decor? Listen, Blitzen, I think we can really revolutionize how we perceive floating. And so, there you lie, encased in warmth and cloud fluff, giggling silently as you watch the reindeer, each unique in their own eyebrow-wiggling glory, lounge carelessly. You find yourself asking if reindeer have more of an understanding about self-care than humans do. After all, they nap like it's a competitive sport, where the stakes are all about who can flawlessly catch the ultimate dream. You can't help but think, should I incorporate more naps as a part of my routine too? Wouldn't a cloud make a good enough office? But even in this utopia of floating landscapes and relaxed reindeer, a pang of reality reminds you, Santa can't afford to lose a single one of them. Not this Christmas Eve, and not ever. For without those glowing noses and expert cloud lounging? Who would bring joy and holiday cheer to all? So, as you drift further into slumber in this whimsical setting, remember, you're cradled between magic and laughter, and tomorrow's adventures will still wait for you. Off into dreamland you go, where the jokes are as plentiful as the cookies left for Santa. And trust me, tomorrow's clouds hold some wild surprises just waiting for you.
As our snowy little journey finally winds down, it's worth pausing to appreciate just how exhausting and oddly hilarious surviving a single day could be, whether in the distant past or in the magical mayhem of Christmas Eve. From tangled antlers and glitter sneezes to chimneys, cockapoos, and logistical nightmares, life has always had a way of demanding patience and a sense of humor. Behind every cozy tradition sits unseen effort, long nights, careful preparation, tiny mistakes that snowball into chaos. The people of earlier times knew this well. Their days were shaped by cold mornings, physical labor, unpredictable tools, and systems that only worked if every small piece showed up exactly when needed. When something went wrong, and it often did, laughter wasn't optional, it was survival. Tonight's story, beneath all the whimsy, reminds us of resilience, of teams holding things together quietly, of creatures, human or otherwise, showing up again and again to make joy possible, even when tired, confused, or one reindeer short of disaster. There's strength in that, gentle, persistent strength. As you rest now, warm and safe, take a moment to appreciate the comforts around you. A soft bed, a steady roof, light, warmth, and rest without urgency. These are luxuries many before us, medieval laborers, travelers, and even fictional gift deliverers could only dream of. So let the snow settle, let the sleigh rest, let the reindeer breathe easy. The chaos has passed, the night is quiet, tomorrow can wait. Allow your thoughts to soften and drift. There's nothing left to manage, fix, or prepare. Everything that needed to arrive already has. Sleep gently now, and good night.